Thank you all for being here on time. We appreciate it, but I don't know where my colleagues are. We're checking on that. What was that? Oh. Good to see you.
sounds good. We don't want them to waste our time either.
Maybe the mayor's in DC.
Yeah.
We're having boycotts already. The election hasn't even happened.
Well, the Americans play now. Or an hour.
No,
An
8.
hour.
At 8. At 8, right?
Yeah.
Who knows if the football game for U.S. today is at 8?
8.
I'm so nervous. I want them to win. When do you come back? 10th at night. When? 10th at Friday night. The meeting ends on the 10th, and then I come back at night.
Hello. How are you? Very nice. How about you?
Tomorrow morning. I know,
Good.
I know. No, I have my
And I watched on TV too.
$1,000 workshop. So I know it's ridiculous. Kentucky. No, for the NLC.
Right.
So the committees, the federal advocacy committees are meeting in Kentucky. So I have a proposal from NMB to present. So you can tell me where to go.
We didn't hear you.
Oh, this is Louisville. I don't think I have time to go to Bowling Green.
You did the boat, so the National Corvette Museum.
The National Who Museum?
Corvette
Oh.
Museum is in Bowling Green.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to start. Fortuna, I'm going to start. Tell Phyllis.
Yes. We're going to start without
Yeah.
presentation.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to call the July 6th meeting to order, but it's not going to be a commission meeting. It's going to be a workshop due to the lack of quorum. We need one more, so I apologize. That's not our fault, obviously, but my colleagues aren't here, the rest of them. So what we're going to do is the presentations tonight, and then we'll follow up with what we think of the presentations after, so that way you're not wasting your time for being here.
Commissioner, let me just say for the record that there's certainly no issue with hearing the presentations. If in the course of proceedings, if someone comes in and gives you quorum and you still have quorum, you can then proceed. So we're not absolutely waiving that. But at the moment, yes, it's proper to listen to the presentations. And if you have questions, you can ask those too. But I would caution the members.
Does Danielle count as quorum coming in?
You have to have a physical quorum. So even though 5 commissioners are present, including one by Zoom, you must have a physical quorum present, which you do not. That said, you may get that. I just would ask that if you have any questions, that's perfectly fine, but please don't make evaluative, well, that solves that problem.
All right, Mr. Vice Mayor, take over the meeting. We just started.
Quorum in the House. All right, but I just want to say for the record that I can't.
You're leaving at
I'm leaving at 7:30. I thought that there would be full quorum, and I've had this plan for like 6 months now, so.
You have full quorum.
Okay.
You have,
Yeah, but if I leave,
five in the house, one on
If I
Zoom, and
leave, if I
I heard
leave.
the other one is going to be coming too. So.
Okay.
Still, it depends on who's here, but if are 5 on the dais at that time, you still have full quorum.
All right, let's rock and roll. Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate your time, especially with the weather and everything that's going on with the rain and thunder. So we appreciate you guys making it here, and thanks to our colleagues for your patience as well. Mr. Attorney, Mr. Manager, Madam City Clerk, let's get started. Roll call, please.
The manager can call the first presentation that's
No,
in the
roll
hands of
call
Mr.
first.
Manager. Oh, excuse me.
Commissioner Chernoff,
Here.
Commissioner Jean,
Here.
participating remotely, Commissioner Smith. Present. Commissioner Smuggler,
Present.
Commissioner Sue,
Here.
Vice Mayor Florimon.
Here.
Mayor Joseph is running late and will try to get here as soon as he can.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, we're going to also proceed with public comment. If anyone has a comment related to the items that we're about to hear, please come up. Madam Clerk, do you have a statement to make?
Good evening, everyone. The Mayor and Commissioner of the City of North Miami Beach has opened the floor for public comment at this time. There is a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. Speaker, when you're called to the podium, please state your name or the name of the organization which you are representing. The Mayor and Commissioner of the City of North Miami Beach requests that all in attendance to exercise civility towards each other. Do we have anyone for public comment? Vice Mayor, none has come forward.
Okay, public comment is now closed, and we are going to proceed to 4.1, tennis court proposals from the short list finalists. This is an item sponsored by City Manager Darvin Williams. We have before us 4 organizations that will be making presentations: Liberty Base, NMB Academy, U.S. Soccer Enterprise, and Mackin Companies. Proceed, Mr. Manager.
Excuse me, is there a time limit for each? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. So we are very excited to move this item forward. Each presenter will have 10 minutes to do your presentation. Subsequently, the commission will have 5 minutes to give a Q&A session, and then we move on to the next presenter. So I'll now turn it over to Charisse Depozois, who is our procurement our procurement chief, and look forward to getting some additional instructions from her, and we're ready to move it forward. Thank you all for coming.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We've had the opportunity to share a bit before getting started about exactly what the manager just mentioned. So again, we're excited to see your presentations. We're going to start in alphabetical order with Liberty Base. Our IT department has already loaded all of the presentations. So Liberty Base can come up and get started with your illustrations and start your presentation.
Oh, with video.
No, I'm going to speak first and then the video. Will you tell me when I can click to it? Or when I can start? Yeah.
See, just click.
And
This
then
button is gonna play.
And then it'll go to the PowerPoint?
No, you gotta do it itself and your PowerPoint. It's a PDF.
Yes, it's a PDF,
Yeah, that's right.
but I can
So
click
when
through.
That's fine.
Do you want us to do the video and then we can figure it out, or as I'm speaking?
Just
Right there is view. Their actual site.
So there was a question from the dais if what we're seeing on the screen is also going to be broadcasted on NMB TV. Streaming, okay, thank you.
I'll just click play, okay.
The line 1 and the line I almost hit a ball over the fence, over the, one time. I almost hit it over. I mean, I want them to know who they're dealing with.
All set? All right. Good evening, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, distinguished city officials. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. And a special thank you to the Procurement Management Department for your continued efforts coordinating this process and this evening's presentation initiative. We're excited to stand before you tonight following the delivery of our proposal. This evening, we have the opportunity to bring that vision to life. My name is Francine De La Rosa, representing Liberty Base Investments, and I'm here on behalf of our entire development team, Liberty Base Investments, the Apollo companies, and the Sports Facilities companies. Joining us remotely is Leon Ojalvo, president of Liberty Base Investments. Together, we bring decades of experience in real estate development, design, construction, investment, and large-scale project execution, combining the vision, financial strength, and proven expertise needed to successfully deliver a transformative project of this scale. Please direct your attention for a brief video presentation. There's no sound? Is there sound?
Vice Mayor, I'd like to give her a little extra time, being as she's having a little bit of a problem.
Thank you. Try it. So there's no sound. May I start it again and I'll read it. I'll narrate the video. Okay. A global destination where culture comes alive, where sports and recreation thrive. An active lifestyle, community and well-being. For every age and every ability, a destination for all. An unparalleled location in the heart of North Miami Beach. Ready to be reimagined from what it is to what it can be. The future of North Miami Beach starts here. And with your permission, if you'll allow, maybe we can email it to you so you get the full understanding of the video. Okay. Our vision is simple. Oh, no. Sharice, the presentation. Yeah, but he couldn't get it to load. It's not up on the screen. My apologies, commissioners. We tried very hard for this. There we go. Okay. All right, here we go. Our vision is simple: to create a place where sports, culture, dining, wellness, and community come together under one roof for every resident of North Miami Beach. This is not simply another park, it's a destination, a landmark, a place the community will proudly call its own. It's important to recognize what makes this opportunity so special. Today, this opportunity is an underutilized public asset with extraordinary potential. Its size, central location, visibility, proximity to major transportation corridors make it one of the most valuable redevelopment opportunities in North Miami Beach. Our goal is not simply to improve what's here, but to unlock its full potential and transform it into a vibrant destination that serves residents every day while attracting visitors, events, and economic activity from across South Florida. And it all comes together on a site that's impossible to duplicate, highly visible, centrally located, and perfectly positioned to become one of North Miami Beach's defining landmarks. Here's how our vision comes together. The complex features covered and outdoor tennis courts, pickleball and paddle courts, a multi-purpose stadium capable of hosting up to 3,000 spectators for tournaments and community events, a vibrant clubhouse, and a 90,000 square foot mixed-use building featuring retail, dining, fitness, and flexible event spaces. But this is much more than a sports complex. It includes a dog park, skate park, splash pad, walking trails connecting to Snake Creek, and inviting public spaces designed for families to gather year-round. The site takes everything into account, from how people will arrive to how they will move through it. Ample parking, EV charging stations, well-planned pedestrian circulation, dedicated drop-off areas, bike access, and seamless integration with the public transportation system, making this complex not only accessible, but very convenient. This design doesn't just get dropped into North Miami Beach, it's built from it. Adjacent to the site stands one of the city's most recognized landmarks, the ancient Spanish monastery. Our design will allow for future collaboration and connection between the sites. Inside the complex, the food, music, art, and programming celebrate Caribbean, Latin, and multicultural identities that make this community so unique. And it all comes together on a site that's impossible to duplicate, highly visible, centrally located, perfectly positioned to become North Miami Beach's defining landmark. This isn't simply part of the design, we've made it the foundation. As you can see, we've thoughtfully designed something that's incredibly special, where community gathers, where lifestyle meets recreation, and where competition comes alive. Because great facilities are only as successful as the team behind them, our operating partner is the Sports Facilities Companies, the nation's largest and fastest growing manager of sports and recreation venues. SFC has spent nearly 2 decades demonstrating that these facilities can generate both meaningful community impact and long-term financial sustainability. Widely recognized as the leader in planning, developing, and operating sports, recreation, and entertainment destinations, they support more than 3,500 communities and have overseen over $15 billion in sports and recreation developments. And today they manage over 100 venues nationwide, welcoming nearly 30 million visitors each year while generating close to $1 billion annually in economic impact for the communities they serve. When we first approached them during the RFQ process, they immediately recognized the potential of North Miami Beach. Their experience gives us confidence, not only in delivering this project successfully, but in operating it at the highest level for decades to come. Their national network gives this project immediate advantages, proven operating systems, established tournament relationships, national marketing research, sponsorship opportunities, purchasing power, and an experienced team of specialists in finance, programming, event booking, hospitality, and facilities management. They aren't learning on this project, they've mastered it. Simply put, our goal is to create one of South Florida's premier community and sports destinations. There is no stronger operating partner than the Sports Facilities Companies. We're also assembling an exceptional network of partners across sports, wellness, entertainment, dining, retail, and culture. That includes nationally recognized brands, professional athletes and coaches, renowned chefs, leaders in the music industry, and equally important, the the talented entrepreneurs and businesses that already call North Miami Beach home. These partnerships will ensure that this facility isn't simply a beautiful facility. It's an active destination from day one. The opportunity here is significant. South Florida experiences heat and heavy rain much of the year. Climate-controlled indoor courts eliminate that challenge. Demand for quality tennis, pickleball, and paddle facilities continue to outpace the supply throughout our region, from youth programs to professional events. Combined with this site's central location, highway accessibility, transit connections, and visibility, Club NMB is uniquely positioned to become a regional destination. But success won't be measured only by visitors. It will be measured by residents who finally have a place to gather, exercise, celebrate, dine, and spend time together across generations. We focused extensively on what happens behind the scenes. Together with our civil engineers, the same firm behind Miami Open Tennis Center and the Miami Dolphins training facility, we've already addressed the major civil engineering components, including potable water, sanitary sewer connections, stormwater management, and flood mitigation, designed to meet Miami-Dade County standards. This isn't simply conceptual, it's a project designed with implementation in mind. I don't know what to do. Okay. Now imagine this, a Saturday afternoon, farmers market fills the lawns, children participate in tennis clinics, families gather at the splash park, skaters enjoy the skate plaza, local artists perform on stage as live music begins in the evening. A resident, a young athlete, a local business owner, and a visitor from the monastery all share the same space, for different reasons, but together. That's exactly the type of community that we're creating. And before we designed any of it, we listened. This proposal reflects the priorities residents shared through the city's community survey. Every element, from sports facilities and cultural programming to EV charging stations, illuminated walkways, trolley connectivity, and accessible public spaces, has been designed with a purpose in mind, a space that belongs to you, the city of North Miami Beach. As we move into the financial phase, we'll also introduce a resident-first membership structure with meaningful benefits for North Miami Beach families. Even the brand has been thoughtfully developed to create long-term value for the city. Through sponsorships, events, merchandise, and a cohesive identity, Club NMB becomes more than a facility. It becomes a recognizable destination that generates pride, additional revenue opportunities. Before we conclude, I'd like to leave you with one thought. This presentation represents the second phase of a very detailed process. During the first phase, request for qualifications, our team was honored to receive the highest ranking amongst all respondents. Tonight, in another step toward the final phase where financial proposals will be presented. When the time comes, we are ready. Ready with experience, ready with partnerships, ready with a financial plan, and most importantly, ready to deliver. If done right, this project becomes far more than a recreational complex. It becomes a symbol of what North Miami Beach stands for, a city that values diversity, community, opportunity, excellence. We would be honored to build that future with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your presentation. Mr. Manager is not here, but Mr. ACM and our procurement director is here as well. Were we asking questions immediately after the presentations, or do we wait until they're all completed? Immediately? Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and start with Commissioner Smith.
Thank you very much. What's the name going to be of the project? You mentioned Club NMB. What is the name?
We can decide that later on or together, but internally, as a team, we've been calling it Club NMB for a long time.
because that becomes very important. Some of the municipalities that are adjoining us like to have their name on some of North Miami Beach's property, and that's why it's important to me to find out what the name is going to be on the projects, or at least let North Miami Beach have a say-so in what the name is going to be. You said there's national marketing. What's the local marketing going to be?
Anything really. So going back to the name Club NMB, we wanted to make sure, internally we've been calling it Club NMB, but we wanted to make sure that at least some portion of the name makes reference and and honors the city of North Miami Beach. But no name has been decided. That can be something that's decided along with the city or even with the residents. We just want it to be something catchy, something that's easy to pronounce in different languages, since we are a multicultural community. And then as for national brands and marketing and local marketing, in my presentation I mentioned the importance of local businesses and entrepreneurs, and we want to make sure that we incorporate that every step of the way. So there will be ample opportunities for cultural events, dining, retail, and our first choice is going to be local businesses.
Sorry, for North Miami Beach, for the residents, is there an incentive? There's discounts? I heard you mention something, but not specific enough for me to see what your plan is for the residents of our city.
Per the instructions we received for this presentation, we were not supposed to focus at all on the financial model, but we recognize from day one, from the request for qualifications, our financial model, which favors the residents of North Miami Beach, was included in the RFQ and also was detailed in the RFP, not detailed, but addressed. And I addressed it in the presentation as well. We recognize the importance, and there will be a plan for residents.
Okay, there's a couple more. I came prepared with questions after looking through my binder, but let me ask staff a question. Hearing what the answer was just now, financially obligated, are we obligated to not only provide the land, but are we obligated financially to also participate in the complex being built?
So to answer the question, are we obligated to?
Not obligation, that's not the correct word. Are we going to participate, or is that a possibility of whoever is the developer that we would be also financially involved?
Well, that is always a possibility. This is a proposal for P3, public-private partnership, which is why she said, we can negotiate on the name. This is our proposal for the name, but we can negotiate on the name, which is also, none of these presenters have a contract with us yet. They are coming to you for you to rank them based on their presentations of their vision of what to do with our property. Once they're ranked, we will then go into negotiations where we'll work out some of the financial details. With first, the number one ranked person, and should they not be able to meet those financial requirements that the city puts forward, then we'll move to your second choice, and that's going to be our process.
That's an unusual decision for us because maybe the one we love the most costs the most, and it's not something we could afford. So we would sacrifice some of the project to be able to be under our umbrella of financially solvent. Okay. I don't want to malinger because I've got quite a few that I want to ask to make sure I understand. The dog park, and I think you said skate park, but the dog park and the trails, are they going to be open to the public 24 hours a day? How's that going to work? Is it an hourly thing that on Saturday and Sunday it's from 7 in the morning till 10 at night, and during the week it's 8 in the morning till 6? I mean, how's it going to work because dog parks, people go to at all hours. So that's what I'd like to know. What kind of hours, what kind of flexibility we have with that?
Again, these are all questions that we're taking, and these are all considerations that we've been, contemplating since day one, since we decided to apply for the RFQ. This is a general idea. Maybe we meet with the city and a skate park is, while it was, weighed heavily in the survey that was passed along to, to the residents, maybe we decide that space is not best suited for a skate park. Maybe we want to do an outdoor gym. Nothing of this is set in stone. It's our vision from multi-generational recreational complex. Other than knowing that it must include tri-racket sports, we know for a fact the city wants tennis courts, pickleball courts, and paddle courts. We know that the city wants a walking trail. So there are details in our site map that could potentially change based on our conversations with you, the commissioners, with other people that are involved. And we've left wiggle room to maybe adapt some of those spaces.
Okay, I have two more quick questions. Well, I hope it's only two. Will there be special event days, and then will you have enough parking for those special event days?
So in the presentation, I addressed that there will be ample parking. Also is,
Because I've noticed, you know, we watched in the municipality that's adjoining us, we've watched them build up their stadium, their events, their everything. And even with all that, the parking's always full and the parking's always difficult. So that on days like that, there's enough problems now on that particular street for parking. That was one of my questions. And how are you utilizing the water that's there on that property?
so first to address the parking situation, we, as mentioned during the presentation, EV charging stations, plenty of parking spaces, drop-off and pickup areas for Ubers and Lyfts and whatnot, bike racks, connectivity to public transportation. Those are all things that we're going to take into account, given the size of this facility.
The land is so valuable for this entertainment. Maybe the building should have the parking within the building so that the land can have more room for entertainment, for a kiddie park, for et cetera.
That's a possibility, and it's been contemplated that the footprint of where the building is going to be allows us, to build vertically, and that will just depend on budget and how the financial model goes, comes together.
The water there, we've talked about amongst ourselves, or at least I've talked about it when we've been together, that it would be a nice place to launch off if people wanted to go canoeing down that waterway. So that's why I'm asking you, have you brought the waterfront future use into the plans?
We did want to incorporate a launch pad for kayaks and canoes. Prior to the presentation, the entire team of presenters did do a walkthrough with city officials at Snyder Park and the complex, and we were told at that moment that it's not feasible. So we left it out, but that doesn't mean that it can't be brought in at any moment. Just like I mentioned also the possibility to integrate with the Spanish monastery. We haven't had conversations with the Spanish monastery. So saying that we're going to become one large complex and committing to that prior to even speaking with them, we didn't do that, but we left it open, and our design allows for that immediately or maybe down the line.
You were going to say something, Mr. Manager,
Yes,
about that.
I was trying to jump into a sister there. The reason why she's not able to answer that question is because we do not control that waterway. That waterway is controlled by the South Florida Water Management District. So it would be inappropriate for someone developing on city property to incorporate plans for that water feature.
But can we go after them and get permission to do it? Because it's a waste not to utilize this.
Well, I'm sure everything is possible.
Certainly.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's make that probable.
Well, we need to make a decision first on.
Okay, well.
on.
Actually, if I may.
Yes.
If I may, I think on the canal, when you're by, I'm not sure if it's Challenger Park, near the amphitheater, we actually have a ramp that gives access to boats. I don't know if you're familiar with what I'm talking about, but when you're on the canal walkway and you're doing that 5K, there's a little launch area one, yeah. So we do have something like that.
Private one.
Oh, it's private?
It's private to that house. I know the owner.
No, it's actually not, it's not coming from the back of the home.
No, it's on the canal side, and then the house is back.
No, it's on the west side of the canal, right next to the park. So there's where the There's a big drawing for the Heart Walk, and then the police boats usually use that ramp to get on.
I've always visioned that the complex should also include that, because I know that that's a very successful activity at the park across Alita Park. It's a state park, very successful activity, and I think it would be so here. Thank you very much. I came with questions. I took too much time, but the speakers after me, those will be some of the questions I'll be repeating.
If I may say, Commissioner Smith, all of these, we've walked that property dozens of times since this project began. Our heads are spinning. We spent a great deal of time with our architects and with our designers dreaming up, doing our best song and dance, dreaming up of what best would suit that piece of land and the residents of North Miami Beach. This is, let's call it our first draft. Everything can be revised, everything can be adjusted. We wanted to be very, very respectful of the survey that the residents of North Miami Beach provided, and we made sure to include most, if not all, of the elements that the residents told us were important. We also recognize that North Miami Beach is at the epicenter of many, many cultural events. Formula One, the Miami Open, Art Basel, the South Beach Food and Wine Festival. There are so many opportunities to turn this complex into an unforgettable landmark for the city of North Miami Beach, and piggyback on or support some of these very, very big cultural initiatives that I have absolutely no doubt will be very, very lucrative for the city.
The location is prime. Prime for everybody to come from south, north, east, and west. It's a prime location, and we'd like to see it be something that was meant to be.
You'd think there's enough racket sport facilities, but there aren't any that are covered or under a roof. And we know that that's going to be something that's very, very valuable.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Commissioner Smuggler.
Being that I have to leave, I really don't want to take up any more time, so I can always follow up with you guys or with the manager for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Sue.
Actually, I have no questions.
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Chernoff.
My question is, in the legend that we have in our book, I see that we have 8 pickleball, looks like we have 8 padel, and we only have 7 tennis. How did you come up with what to do there?
No, this is the order.
No, this isn't the,
May I look at
The
the
old
site?
one?
May I look at the site plan quickly?
no.
I can
counting,
get there very quickly.
I'm counting each one that you have there. You have 6 for the tennis.
Correct.
You have 6 for the padel, but then the 2 outside for padel, up there.
This is covered padel. This
Yeah,
is outdoor padel. These are all covered pickleball.
right,
This is a multi-use stadium or,
right, I got that.
and then these are 6 tennis courts.
Okay, my question is, it's the Judge Arthur Snyder Tennis Facility. Had 12 clay courts and had 16 hard courts there that were the premier tennis center all along. And so our community is used to that being tennis. Going to the padel and the pickle is a change. So why, all I ask is, how come the tennis got the least?
We wanted to show you how we can take advantage of this 10-acre piece of land and make it a multi-use recreation facility. We do have enough space to shift everything forward and add up to 12 tennis courts if need be. 6 would be covered, 6 would be outdoor.
And what would you eliminate?
Maybe not eliminate, the building could be taller. Maybe the walkway doesn't need to be as big. There's a lot of green space. There's a very big dog park. It can accommodate maybe half of it. There's space.
Okay. No, that was just the thought why the tennis was the least.
Tennis is my most favorite sport. I'd make it all tennis if I could, but we wanted to take into account, again, what the residents wanted, and they're looking for multi-use.
Thank you.
He does have a.
Okay, we're going to, if you can ask your question, and then we're going to proceed with Commissioner Jean, and let the record show that Mayor Joseph is here.
Okay.
Noted.
Thank you. So, was there a survey of certain type, the reason why you gave certain amount of courts to different things? No, it was just, this is the initial idea, and you just wanted to show.
This is the initial idea, and the way that it's laid out, we can reaccommodate it and readjust it. If the desire is more tennis, if the desire is more paddle and pickle, we can grow vertically. We can make additional, pickleball courts on the roof of the building. We can make a second story.
So I just wanted to put it in there that one thing I noticed that's missing in the South Florida sports, and is a quite popular sport, I mean, probably not as much as soccer, but is badminton.
That's a great idea.
And it is nowhere to be found. I don't know where to go play badminton. Badminton.
Badminton,
You said it's popular where?
It's popular among people. I mean,
50 years ago was popular.
no. I'm sorry, but I mean, when I go to Los Angeles, sometimes they have 24-hour badminton courts, and it is booked. It doesn't matter what time of day. So it is quite a popular sport. It's indoor as well, so, it stands the weather.
So we were looking, and we had some conversations after we presented the printed RFP, but the instructions were not to modify anything because you guys already had printed copies in hand. So there was a conversation about the possibility of some tennis tournaments, and the court requirement ideally would be 8 to 10. So we already have an idea how we can accommodate more tennis courts. But again, this is our initial site plan. We are most excited about the partnerships that we built with the sports facilities companies and the experience that they bring to the table. So we can revise, hopefully, when we move on to the next phase.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Danielle or Jean, you want to ask her? Or the mayor? Does he know that she hasn't had a chance?
She's on Zoom.
Commissioner Jean?
Hi, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. I guess the question that I would have is true. Is there an area for food trucks and more condensable, a food area? I know there's a bar, but is there an area where temporary food vendors can be added?
So farmers markets, food trucks, that's all very important as part of the community activation, in addition to permanent dining within the 90,000 square foot building that we've designed.
Thank you. And the second question is for the manager. Mr. Manager, as you mentioned about financing, are we also looking for revenue sharing opportunities as well? Or is that too early in this stage to consider?
Thank you, Commissioner Jean. Yes, once a concept has been selected by the commission, a lead concept has been selected by the commission, that is going to be part of our discussion and moving forward with your selected candidate.
Thank you. That's all for me.
To answer that question, or to answer also your question about the specific site plan, we have 3 or 4 different ideas of what the interior of our building will look like. We didn't present those because until we sit down and actually meet with the city and understand, and we get your full feedback, we can turn that into classrooms, shared office spaces. There will include, for sure, event and meeting and social halls. But the interior of that very big complex can be mapped a little bit differently. Is that it?
Vice Mayor?
Thank you.
I have a question. So thank you so much for your presentation. You know, I think that as I'm listening to the questions, and I understand that our goal here is to figure out what concept we like. One of the things too that we have to balance is that we don't choose a concept that we then turn around and redo completely to what we want, right? Because the whole goal is that someone here shows us something that wows us for us to pick from, not they show us something and then we go, you know, and then we revamp it all to something that we probably could have come up with ourselves. You see what I'm saying? Not diminishing what they're doing. That's not the point. What I'm saying is there's so much that we can say once we pick a concept that can totally change what they presented to us. And at that point, it's no longer what we chose. Am I
That was
making
my
sense?
thought.
And so I just have that concern as it relates to the process itself, that, you know, we're not just picking a partner for a 3P, but we're actually picking pretty much in entirety the concept that will eventually be what we see there. Am I making sense?
You are making sense, Vice Mayor. The alternative is for the city to make a determination of exactly what is going to go in there into a set RFP process. That's the only alternative that we have. And once an RFP goes out with a set boundaries with no flexibility on it, if we then make changes on it, then every person that bid could say, well, I would have come in differently if I had been made aware of that change. So we left it intentionally broad so that you all could select a developer that you feel has the vision, has the kind of flavor, has the heart that you want to partner with, so that once that is selected, they can then go into negotiation for a contract. If you say you want, then you can discuss your revenue sharing, then you can discuss your dog park areas if you selected one that has a dog park. But our only other alternative, and I'll defer to our procurement director if she has some different visions on that, but I understand that this is why this is the way this process was laid out.
No, and I can appreciate that because the concepts, I'm really taking in the concepts, and all I'm saying is that I don't want us to choose a concept and then we go on this journey of literally tearing what they presented apart and coming up with something that is totally different.
So,
right?
so I'd like to close on our presentation, since this conversation came up, by saying this. We're very happy with what our presentation looks like. We are committed to making a recreational complex that serves different generations and different hobbies and interests. We are inheriting, you know, Snyder Tennis Park, which has 18 tennis courts. We want to be able to make honor to that, but also add on top of that. It's not that our vision isn't clear. Our multi-recreational complex that includes covered racket sport courts is very important to us. That is at the center of our concept, but we can modify if it's 12 pickleball courts and 8 tennis courts. When I say that, you know, we have some wiggle room, that's what I mean.
Got it.
It could be a bigger splash pad and a smaller skate park, or it could be no skate park at all and an outdoor gym. It will be a multi-use recreational complex that includes a covered building that has dining, spa, gym, retail, and event spaces.
Got it.
But we can make certain modifications.
Yeah, I think that message is more for the dais. So I appreciate what you're saying, but the message is really more for us, because one of the things I think that's important is that once we do select a concept, that, you know, I'm really about shovel in the ground, right? So that's kind of what's in my mind, that we're not sitting here for a long time trying to, you know, appease too many desires that may vary from what you or anyone else that we select have presented, that we can really bridge that gap between vision and reality.
That was one of the challenges when we read through the hundreds of surveys that the community provided. There is such a broad vision for what the residents want. We tried to hone in as much as possible to make sure that everybody feels like their interests are being served. Now, from our point of view, yes, the concept is super important, but also the operation side of this complex is super important, which is why we built an extremely robust team to not only put together a site plan that makes the most use out of this gem of a 10-acre piece of land, but also operates very, very smoothly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Through the
Thanks
mayor.
so much.
I
Through
was
the mayor, just if I might, one moment, Vice Mayor,
Yes.
just as a comment. You are hearing all of these visions that the developer has, but, and what you said is a perfectly fine way to do what you want to do. That's a matter of policy. But legally, you're choosing a developer more than a concept. So if you like that somebody has a really outside-the-box thought, and you think, I want that developer because they're outside the box, that doesn't mean legally that as part of a 3P, which was the point the manager was making, why this is a 3P, you can say, I like that you're outside the box, you're my team, but we want a different box. You can do that legally. Now, I understand you talked about operational reasons and shovel in the ground. You're free to do that. That's a matter of policy. But you're not precluded legally
Got it.
from picking who you want. But then, like I said, we like that you're outside the box. We just want a different box. That's
Thank you.
legally allowed.
Thank you for the explanation. And I was just going to say that the concept of an event space is pretty good, because we've done events here at the Spanish Monastery that have drawn very large crowds with our CRA. Soup and Champagne was one of those events, and we saw the potential of what can be done there. So I definitely think this side of town needs a place where people can gather for those types of events. Thank you.
We can talk about it further, but we spoke to the organizers of the Food and Wine Festival, and personally, that multi-use stadium that's an amphitheater, that's my favorite part.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Wait, I changed my mind. I do have a question. Can you show me where the parking is going to be? So like how many cars would that be about?
Well, depending on what the final site plan and design is, there are parameters that need to be, they need to be followed by, as to how many parking spaces there need to be. And if need be, we can then discuss about making, covered parking with.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Liberty Base.
Wait, can I have one last question? Sorry. No, I just wanted to know, you did mention something about sports, like international sports. The question is, like, if we do build that kind of stadium, are you able to bring tournaments to, you know what I mean? Like, how is your connection work in bringing tournaments over to North Miami Beach?
We are so ready. Not only are we so ready and so well connected within the tennis world, if this facility would have been even closely ready during the Miami Open, we could have turned this into a preseason training facility, which is part of our idea, to turn this entire recreational complex into possibly a place where athletes of, different sports come and do their preseason training, but specifically in the tennis world.
So, yeah, and the next question then is that court, like, was it conceptually designed to be convertible so that various, like, paddle and pickleball, any tournaments can actually be hosted here?
So there's internal conversation about having the courts be flex courts, meaning having them painted with pickleball lines so that they can be used for both.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are deeply into tennis or pickleball don't really favor flex courts, and it kind of lowers the prestige of the complex. So it's a conversation, it's a consideration, but our initial thought is we might just want to have enough tennis courts and enough pickleball courts and enough paddle courts so that none of them have to be.
Gotcha. Last question is, if and when we do agree, how long does it take you to complete?
We're just gonna have to,
Meaning, like, shovel in the ground.
The civil considerations have already been mapped out, which was one of the biggest concerns, since it is, in a flood area. But we spent a great deal of time, and even since this in-person presentation was pushed back a little bit, by a few weeks to give us some additional time to do additional research. Sports Facilities Company, which is our partner, this is their bread and butter. This is what they do. So we spent a great deal of time partnering with them. We've got recreational parks all across the country. The quicker we can open, the quicker we can get started.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Maybe some of the presenters want to use my easels. I'm happy to follow.
Vice Mayor?
So the request is, in our packet, Mac and Companies comes next. Are we able to take it in that order? Okay.
I don't know.
No, I'm looking at the agenda versus what I have in my hand. That's what I'm saying.
If they want them, they can.
So can Mac and come? Okay, got you.
Yeah, and. No, you're right.
And Sharice, sorry, one more question. Since my audio didn't work and it was an important part of the presentation, would it be okay if I email, well, you have it by email? Can you share it with the commissioners, please? Sure. Thank you.
We can upload it and we can play it in the end again. We have to upload.
Thank you.
Or somebody else will.
Are we ready?
Yep. We'll let them sit, so Phyllis is not at her desk.
Oh, should we wait until Phil? We should wait for the commissioner?
Yes. Should we get started?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City staff. Thank you for your time and for the collaboration that's brought us to this point. I'm Jennifer Becker. I've worked with Mac and Companies for nearly 20 years, and I've seen firsthand several projects that they've done come through to fruition. I see their track record of success, what it takes to deliver, and I know the standard this team holds itself to. So with great enthusiasm and a deep commitment to North Miami Beach, we're very proud to present our proposal for Park Dreams, a standout recreational destination designed to really raise the bar for what public space can be in South Florida. And this plan is built around the city's vision, a world-class destination that brings together sports, culture, wellness, food and beverage, and nature. And it does it so in a way that's innovative and ambitious, while still protecting what makes a great park feel like a park. We've listened very carefully. This proposal reflects all of the city's requirements, and it incorporates key priorities and additional wishes that we heard directly from the residents. And we bring local proof of delivery. The city's confidence in our team helped make Aura North Miami Beach possible, directly adjacent to the park site, and already bringing new energy, new activity, exciting new-to-market tenants to the West Dixie corridor. We know this market, and when we commit to something, we deliver. And most importantly, Park Dreams is being led by a true best of the best team, award-winning experts who deliver places people actually love, use, and are proud of. Mac and Companies brings deep local roots and a proven track record of execution locally with Aura and Coya Bay townhomes, and all across South Florida throughout decades of delivered work. ODP is known nationally and very locally for high-impact civic and urban design, creating spaces that elevate the public realm and fit naturally into their surroundings. EDSA is one of the world's most respected park and landscape design firms, recognized globally for creating memorable public spaces that endure. And H&M specializes in sports and community facilities, including some of the most recognized racket sports destinations in South Florida. So together, this really is our dream team, and the level that Park Dreams deserves, and the level of team that North Miami Beach really deserves. So with that, I'm proud to introduce the visionary leader behind Mac and Companies, Alan Mackin.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening, everyone. Every city experiences defining moments, moments that shape its identity for generations. Opportunities like this are rare, And when they come along, they require both vision and the courage to get them right. I happen to believe this is one of those moments. It is truly an honor to be considered for this project of this significance. My team and I don't take this responsibility lightly. In fact, this has become a passion project for all of us. For my family, it's also deeply personal. This isn't just another project for us. This is our hometown. I grew up here in North Miami Beach playing football in our city parks. I know firsthand how parks bring families together, create lifelong memories, and strengthen a community. That understanding has guided every decision we've made. 5 years ago, we were among the first to recognize the potential of the Snyder Park Tennis Center and express our sincere interest in helping shape its future. 5 years later, our belief in what this site can become has never wavered. Since then, we kept coming back to one simple question: what does North Miami Beach deserve? Every decision we made had to answer that very question. We listened to city staff. We heard our residents. We honored the history of the ancient Spanish monastery. We embraced this site's tennis heritage and challenged ourselves to go far beyond the minimum requirements. Tonight, we're not simply presenting a development proposal. We're presenting a vision for what North Miami Beach can become: a destination, a park that celebrates this community, preserves meaningful green space, inspires recreation, supports local businesses, and creates a place where families gather, neighbors connect, and memories are made for generations. We wanted to create the kind of place that makes someone passing by stop and say, "That's a park I want to visit, and that's a city I want to call home." This vision is bold, but it's grounded in experience. For decades, Mackin Companies has invested in North Miami Beach because we believe in this community. Our reputation has been built on one simple principle: when we make a commitment, we deliver. If we're fortunate enough to earn your trust, we'll bring that same commitment, accountability, and disciplined execution to this project. Together, and I do mean that, together, we have an opportunity to create something that becomes part of North Miami Beach's identity, a place this commission, this community, and our team can look back on with pride and say, we created something truly very special. Tonight, we hope you'll see not only what we're proposing, but why we believe no one is better prepared to bring this vision to life. To our outstanding city staff, I want to thank you for your professionalism and your dedication. And to you, our elected officials, I always want to thank you for your continued service to our community. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our team as they present the vision. Well, you got the best of me. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our team. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just fixing the video. Thank you. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome ODP Gadiel Marquez, the principal of the firm.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for the time. Just to be brief, I know time is of the essence. I wanted to be able to basically go through the project. We broke down the project into a series of zones, which I'll quickly highlight here. I have my counterparts, Jaime and EDSA, as well Leo, who's going to be able to kind of talk about some of the other things that we incorporated into the park itself. Now, with that being said, Zone 1, there's broken into 4 zones, and in Zone 1, what we have here is an elevated park. It's a series of kiosks of these retail hubs that allow for the community and food and beverage to be able to come and interact with the park. At the heart of Zone 1 is going to be a large performance piazza that allows for local talent, community offerings, and whatnot. In Zone 2, we also have the sports area, the pro shop, along with the courts, which I'm going to bring in Jaime really quickly to be able to talk about the details that are of that Zone 2. Apologies, a little nervous here. Sorry. Jaime, if you could come and jump in.
Sure.
Thank you. Sorry.
I'm Jaime Mayo with H&M Architecture. We've designed many of these facilities in South Florida, 3-story, single-story. And what really separates this facility from those and from many other similar recreational facilities is the entire park setting, obviously, that you're involved here. All the parking is below. It kind of takes advantage of the entire site being one giant park. All the parking is hidden below, really separating the pedestrian and the vehicle connectivity throughout. And the entrance of the 2 main buildings, which kind of flank the big entrance plaza, houses the over 20 courts racket courts, including the outdoor racket courts. It's kind of also tiered, as long as we're going with the levels. It's also got a big entrance canopy that kind of looks down on the viewing lawn that's facing all the courts. Taking advantage of using these buildings to kind of give us a buffer between, the main right-of-way and the railroad tracks, and really opening up onto the other side of the open park concept that's been created here on a second level. And again, to maximize the use of the property, we've done multi-level sports facilities here with these racket courts on the first, second, third, and integrating that recreational facility with all the amenities that this has to offer, whether it's, the spas. I'm sorry. Let me get in here real quick. It's spas, pro shop, juice bar, restaurant, grab and go food and drinks, rooftop terrace, locker rooms, there's party rooms, multi-purpose rooms available for rental, workout, and warm-up areas, as well as co-working areas, so you can kind of come here and spend the entire day here for all different types of uses for any age. There's a little bit of something here for everyone, regardless of your sports or your age. And with that, I will pass it along to. Okay.
So I could just touch on this just for a second. There's a few elements we have that I think are important to look at, and I would encourage your specific questions at the end. So what you're looking at right now is we've created a multi-level park structure, but we made sure to make sure that the green space preserved the park intention of what we have there. So when the question is how many parking spaces do we have 237 parking spaces. You just can't see them, because what we wanted to make sure is we wanted to make sure that the park remained a park. And to do that, and I'll try and get to the proper slide. There's the entrance to the garage. It's innovative, because every time we designed a project, there was a 5-story parking structure, and you lost the park feel. So what do we have? We have food and beverage, we have fitness, we have entertainment, we have paddle, we have tennis, we have all those elements incorporated into the park on the 10-acre site. And we put that together in such a fashion whereby we also incorporated the dog park, picnic areas, and we met with the Spanish monastery and we said, what is it that you're looking for? And they said they needed more parking. We gave them more parking. The second thing they were looking for was a buffer. They wanted to be treated as a religious institution and be respected that way. They wanted to have their own private space. So we made sure that we created, I believe it's 250 feet of separation between ourselves, from our structure to their structure. So we preserved their space. But I think one of the most dramatic elements of the design, really, if you take a look, we've incorporated the green space also on the roofs of the buildings. We saw this done in North Carolina. It was a dramatic change. It preserved the green space. It preserved the park. We made sure the structures are see-through, they're glass. You see, this is fully baked. This is designed. This is my architecture team. This isn't the concept. We're not talking about things we think we can do. We know what we can do here. Now, take it a step further, we also made sure there were jogging paths and walking paths throughout the entire structure, the entire park. But take a look at this for just a second. We also created subtle grade increases. These are not dramatic grade increases. They're subtle, so we made sure that people could come, handicapped people could come enjoy the park, not struggle to get through the park, enjoy the entire place, but also create different vignettes at these different levels they came to. But we also made sure that we created walking paths that brought the whole piece together, and we got some of that design actually from the Spanish monastery, which is actually very funny. If we can go a step further, we have indoor park paddle, and we have indoor tennis and outdoor tennis. We do that by making flex spaces inside the structures. Our structures are incorporated at 3 stories high. But of those 3 stories, there's 2 levels of parking, of playing and entertainment, because you need the height in order each level. So we've looked at that, and that's what I'm saying. This is our design team. I'm a developer, but we bring a design team to make sure it works together. We also incorporated rooftop fitness on top of the structures, in particular on top of one of the indoor paddle courts. One more slide, if you don't mind.
No, one more slide, just the time.
Thank you. So lastly, the only thing I'd like to touch on very quickly is that's where the dog park is, that's where the picnic areas are, and there are subtle locations where elevators will take you up to each individual area. I want to thank you all for your time, and thank you very much.
Well, no, before you start, Commissioner Smucker, because she has to leave.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So to the manager, did we, on the things that we wanted to see, did we ever ask for racquetball courts? You did, and are you providing?
We have racquetball, we have paddle, we have pickle, we have tennis. We had limited number of racquetball. We took a look at what worked what is the current movement in tennis and racquetball sports, and so that's how we came up with our mix. We made sure that there's an outdoor tennis center that has, what is really interesting, we also created integrated seating in this structure because we have these grade changes. But to answer Commissioner Smith's question, where's our water feature, which is we also have a kids innovation center built into the park. I think it's 20,000 square feet. Why do we do that? Because parks are for children. They're for families. So we have a kids innovation center for after-school activities, and in front of that kids innovation center, it's not a water feature, it's a splash pad, but it's also a very large splash pad. And if you take a look, that is actually coming from the first level of the parking structure. So this is a fully designed park. This is not a concept that, we're talking about things that are going to be moving and hopefully will come to be.
All right, thank you.
My pleasure, and thank
And
you.
also to the manager, are we voting on this tonight?
I think we're supposed to be ranking, right?
Through the mayor to Commissioner Smucker. I know you won't be voting on, actually voting in tonight. We'll have you rank the concepts, first to the fourth. And then we'll be working with the.
All right. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to be leaving soon, and I do want the other two candidates. I will be watching this online or another day on our website. So it's not like I don't care. I am interested in watching it. And also, and thank you for bringing up the parking. And if the other two can also bring up the parking as well.
Sure.
I would appreciate it.
So ours is 186 parking spaces in the garage and 51 parallel spaces around the entire site.
Okay. And I was looking at the book here, and everything is beautiful. All four of them are beautiful. It's so beautiful that it looks almost like a country club type of
It's not.
place. And that's what I'm concerned about, because as Commissioner Smith had alluded to prior to the first candidate, I'm concerned about the residents having that the costs are too high for the residents, or if there is even going to be costs to the residents. I mean, I think we really need to make sure that our residents are treated better than fairly.
Our concept was to have, we don't intend to charge people to use the park. We also intend to encourage local contractors to be able to construct this project. Taking a step further, I can assure you of one thing. We looked at several different parks. One of them we looked at was Bryant Park in New York. They rely on corporate sponsorships. They also provide 3 months of free rent to some of the tenants that have kiosks, so they can incubate their businesses. And Bank of America in particular sponsors that. So we looked at this globally. As I said, we've been talking about this park for 5 years. So we had a bit of a head start on a lot of other people because we talked about this a long time ago. We did redesign it several times because as the more we looked at it, the more we wanted to make it better. But there's no question that this is a park for the residents of City of North Miami Beach. But taking a step further, I think with the Bright Line train and the traffic that we now have around us, it's about time other cities recognize that the City of North Miami Beach has a very compelling argument. We have a very compelling argument. We're not a stepchild to any other city, and we deserve a park like this. And that's my perspective. My perspective is we deserve a park like this, and you want the developer that's going to shoot for the stars and is going to make it happen. That's my job. That's my job.
Thank you.
And I encourage as many questions you have, and we'll do our best to answer them as correctly and succinctly as we possibly can.
I'll start off, Commissioner Chernoff.
On the plan, I see only 4 tennis courts. Am I wrong?
Outdoor, I think we have 4 tennis courts. We left flex space inside the covered area for additional tennis courts. The truth of the matter is that the tennis courts that we did traffic counts at the Arthur Snyder Tennis Center right now. The numbers and we did that. Business Flair did it for us. The numbers are deplorable. They're terrible. There's heavy use in the early mornings and late in the evenings, but the middle of the day, it's a ghost town. Right. So we created in our indoor spaces with Jaime's team, our indoor spaces are made to be flexible as well, because I think one of the things that hurts the tennis usage is, frankly, the temperature. But there's no question there's been a move away from tennis and to other racket sports. So we wanted to be sensitive to those other racket sports, but we also wanted to make sure that we created something that was busy morning, noon, evening, so we created kiosks that have food and beverage and other uses, entertainment, and an incredible amphitheater that we created inside the structure of the use, which we can show you, which I think is outstanding. We could put tents over it and cover it, so it could be covered, because I think we all know what the heat is like here. But we wanted to give people as many reasons to go there for other than tennis. So with the tennis, the fitness, CrossFit on the roof, we're a fitness-focused recreational facility that is supported by food and entertainment, because we recognize that we want to create a park that families can go to, the kids can go play in the park, and the parents can hide and eat and enjoy themselves.
Thank you.
Sure.
Commissioner Sue? No.
All right, thank you so much for your presentation.
My pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
I will say that this is beautiful.
Thank you.
That's the first word that comes to mind. And you know what I do like about when you're talking about accessibility, I think accessibility is really, to me at least, the flow of the park, right? So it's me driving down the street and saying to myself, can I pull up in here and then take my dog out the car and literally just start enjoying the park? I don't have to, there's no barriers or buffers between my being on the main road and enjoying the actual facility. Like right now, if I wanted to go to that park, I literally pull up, get out of my car, and my dog is playing fetch immediately, right?
Right.
So I think that's partly what's important about accessibility is the flow, which I like here, and you're maximizing, you know, the space with the parking and everything like that. One of the things that I can say I appreciate about this is, you know, is when we think about education in our community, when we think about, you know, business incubators in our community, and what North Miami Beach is about, I'm seeing these flex spaces are allowing for that to happen. So if we have summer camp, okay, well, these kids can go there and there can be STEM projects and things that they can participate in.
That is our plan.
Okay. So, you know, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing campus, I'm seeing everything that really is attractive about this project.
Thank you.
What I will say is that I think that their flagship events that bring people to spaces that are not necessarily living within like a mile of that particular location, right? And so I think that's something also to be considered, is that if someone is living in Eastern Shores, or if someone is living in Highland Village, or if someone is living in Yulita, what's going to bring them to that location as residents? And then aside from that, what's going to let flagship organizations know that, hey, you know what, if we do have an artist that perhaps is not a, is it Adele? It's not an Adele. Is that the name?
Yeah, Adele.
Adele is a major star.
Yeah.
You know, but, or is not. No, what I'm saying is, you see, she's always doing that. She wants Taylor Swift. But if it's not like
Travis
that
Kelce
level, but, you know, there's certain artists that can attract 1,000 or 2,000 people, that this location may be that for them. So what is that anchor? What are
So I can address that real quick. So I can tell you that one thing that we did, because we recognize the diversity of North Miami Beach, which has been a struggle for North Miami Beach for a long time. But there's diversity in North Miami Beach, and what I can tell you we intend to do is different cultural events in our city. At the park, makers markets, all different types of events that we intend to have. It's incorporated in the book that you have in front of you. And I can tell you that as far as attracting the right people to come to this park, build it. Build it. Because if you build it, we have the demographics. I understand some things about this property that most people will never learn, because for a long time I owned the property adjacent, and now that we're renting out the commercial space at Aura, we know what the tenants we're getting. We're bringing tenants out of Wynwood. We're bringing tenants out of Coconut Grove. We're bringing tenants to North Miami Beach that never would have come to North Miami Beach. One of them is going to be the subject of a Netflix documentary, and their flagship location is at Aura. Can I say I'm responsible for that? Absolutely not. Because if this city commission had not supported me the way it did, there would be no Aura. But if we build it, they will come. But you have to build it right. You have to reach higher than you should. And once you do that, and if you have confidence in the place where you intend to do it and the commitment to get it done, you can make it happen. Period.
I definitely appreciate that, and I'm not gonna compare or contrast presenters at this point. But there were comments made about, the ability to bring top names to come and practice on particular courts.
We have
And-
that
and- and-
opportunity. We've met with several of those people as well, and they're available to anybody that's awarded the project.
So that's a good thing, Mr. Mackin, that we can bring those names. But what I will say is I'm looking at Hard Rock, right?
Right.
And I'm saying to myself, with respect to our sister city, the accessibility of Miami Open to the average resident of Miami Gardens, right? So that's kind of where I'm located. There has to be a balance. I'm not saying you answer that question right now, but what I'm saying is there has to be a balance, right? We want a Miami Open, quote unquote, right? Or as an example, for lack of a better term, but at the same time, I don't want my residents to just drive by and hear cheers. I want them to be able to walk in there and purchase something and enjoy it, not because they're part of a program or part of a special group that gets to, have an experience, but because it's really accessible to the residents.
Absolutely. I can tell you that I want the people that are driving by in the bright line, I go, what's that? All of a sudden, you have to play to your traffic. We have accessibility and visibility from Biscayne Boulevard. We have accessibility and visibility at Dixie Highway, and we have people that are driving by the bright line every day. I worked with Shirley Gibson in the city of Miami Gardens, and that woman was unbelievable. She was unbelievable. She encouraged me to go get a commercial tenant that she couldn't get in her city because of the census. And she said, but I deserve it. And she was working at that time in that city at a strip center. And look at what they have today. Look what North Miami's accomplished, what they've done in Olita. I mean, I'm just recognizing what I think, and do I think we can do it? Do we have the right leadership? We do have the right leadership. Do we have the right people and the right team? Yes, we do. Do we have the right property? We do. But we have to work together. It's very simple. And I encourage as many questions you have, because I can give you exact answers to the extent that we have them, because we have designed this project. Is there flexibility? Of course there's flexibility. Do we want to be sensitive? But do we listen to our residents? We spent a considerable amount of time reviewing the surveys and a considerable amount of time reviewing everything that was, all the opportunities that were presented to us. We met all the must-haves and the wants. We didn't just hit the must-haves. Every single want that was something that was requested, we hit. I could have answered the reason you can't go on the water because we tried to do the water. Our first iteration, as you may recall, had water usage. We took it out because of South Florida water. Does that mean you can't get there? Sure you can get there, but you got to go meet with them. You have to beg them. You have to borrow them. You have to give them something, and eventually, hopefully, you can get there. At least some kind of a footprint overlooking the area. We have in our plan a walking path that goes behind the Spanish monastery. We didn't show it yet because, you know what, although we've spoken to the Spanish monastery and we were told that they have no problem with it, until we have something hard and fast that I can present with confidence, can I tell you I can get the name player? Absolutely, I can get the name player if we build it. But I'm never going to come here and overpromise and underdeliver. Period.
Well, Mr. Mackin, I see you were kind enough to give us a timeline, which means the first quarter of 2028 is a vision.
Yes.
The questions I asked to the first person obviously no longer apply because the name, discounts for residents, all those things will come into play after we pick the one that is going to be our vision. What I find, and Commissioner Chernoff is much more into whether you need more tennis courts or less tennis courts, but in my limited amount of recreational, but I see people are playing paddleball and they're playing pickleball and they also still play tennis, but it's not as much as the young people that are playing tennis. I know my son is up in his mountain house, and when you go there are all the courts, but they have to wait for pickleball. They have to wait in line. What's used is the gym, even though you have to get in your car, your go-kart to get there. So the facility and what you've done with layering it, I think is phenomenal. You don't mention that there's a project next door that has parking that's also municipal parking for North Miami Beach.
No, I don't mention that. It's not subject to this conversation.
There are another 28 or 30, which is next door.
Correct.
So, and when there's going to be big events, there might have to be hired people that will have to run back and forth and park. I mean,
We have the facilities built into the project. We also talked about doing a substation for the police department in this project. This is stuff that we've looked at because we spent a considerable amount of time. We traveled, my team traveled to New York. We spent time at Bryant Park. We pulled their business plan, not just their current business plan, but when they first built the place. That was a potter's farm. So I can tell you that we understand what makes parks work when they're P3s. And I can assure you that we looked at all of it. I will take a second just to show you when the opportunity comes out. I encourage you to look at the overlook of the tennis. But we have another shot of, from the part that.
what I can say is you have a very strong vested interest that is something out of this world.
I have a very strong vested interest, but I also have been afforded the opportunity to understand what works. Because for 15 years, I owned the property next door, and the best lesson is struggle a little bit. And I can assure you, I struggled quite a bit over there. So with all due respect, we have fantastic tenants. Of what we have at Aura right now, we're 85% pre-leased. And everybody talks about Aventura this and Aventura that. Well, I'm 85% pre-leased, and Aventura projects are struggling. So I can assure you one thing. We just need to bring the right project and the right product to our city. This is our city. We're as good as any other city, if not better. And I believe if we do that, we can achieve great success, but we'll do that together. That's what makes us the best, is when we work together.
I happen to believe if you build it, they'll come. I happen to also believe that the marketing of it, because of our location, word of mouth will travel. Aventura does all their free space with their free spaces with high rises. I mean, they have some of their courts in the parking lot of the shopping center.
Correct.
So, the name has to be important as far as I'm concerned. And I think that residents have to have some kind of discount some days, some way.
That's not a problem. I think that should happen. Florida residents get in Orlando.
I think everybody that presents will see the same, but these aren't questions for you today. The most important thing is the parking, the facilities for the children, to make sure that while the parents are playing, maybe the children have that playground. The parents play, they get hot, they have a picnic area, they have plenty of places to buy the food. I mean, the concept is beautiful, so.
Thank you.
So was the one ahead of you. I think there's no wrong. I don't think there's a wrong. I think the main thing is to get a shovel in the ground and get it started.
Couldn't agree with you more. I can tell you that everybody does what they do for a living for their own reasons. We leave marks, and when we develop property, we build relationships. I'm exceptionally proud of Aura because it changed the area. We couldn't have done this without Aura, and when you and I talked about Aura in the beginning, there were no projects on Dixie Highway. There was no such thing as a comprehensive plan amendment. We talked about a comprehensive plan amendment because all you could do on Dixie Highway were 2-story buildings at that time. And now we're waiting for the county to finally do their job and widen the road and add the additional parking they plan on adding. But we have a vigorous area in the Dixie Highway corridor that's changed the landscape, and we haven't seen the best of it yet. It's only going to get better.
And how many stories is your building that you're building?
3.
And the parking is some under?
185 or 186 underground and another 51 on the ground.
And the truth is, if whoever gets awarded, if to have more whatever, whether it's space for classrooms or space for conference rooms. I mean, as long as the concept is there and the cost makes sense to whoever's the developer, there's a lot more that can be done. I mean, the concept is the important thing, and I recognize that now, even though I studied this at home. I'll save my question.
Thank you. We have a 20,000 square foot Kids Innovation Center, and we have built the amphitheater in such a creative manner that we talked about tenting it, we talked about putting a roof on it, we talked about doing some other things with it, but what's really creative about it is that it's the way it's constructed.
No,
it's built into the project, and when you look at the tennis center and the overlook in the tennis center, what's dynamic about it, Jay, is, excuse me, Commissioner Chernoff, what's dynamic about it is not just the fact that we have tennis courts, but it's the way we address them. Do we have seating around the tennis courts? Yes, we do. Do we have 3,000 seats? Absolutely not, because she can't park 3,000 cars. So we have enough parking to park what we have, but it's so dramatically well done because when you start with a design team like ODP, you get the world's largest landscape design company, EDSA. You get H&M that was awarded 3 different projects that were P3s in Boca, one of which was in Boca, and say, listen, I need your help on this one. And you hand them the car keys and say, drive with me together, and we do it as a group. You end up with some great things. I'm a sponsor. but I'm a critical sponsor.
Well, I also appreciate the fact that you have given, I can't find it now, how many square foot goes to, how many square foot, 35,000 square foot went to one thing and to the, and maybe 12,000 square foot went to tennis courts.
Correct.
But we get a visual of exactly what you're planning, what you're thinking here. So I appreciate that from
If I could add
from
one
the
other
team.
thing, because I think it's an important question, is we looked at how much concrete coverage is on the current site. And we said, let's not impact this and make it worse. So that's why the green space is handled the way it's handled. We limited our concrete coverage to exactly what's currently on the site. That's my job.
You okay? Oh.
My pleasure.
I love the concept of your project.
Thank you.
I do have a couple of questions, and pardon my ignorance, Madam Procurement Director. Does our RFP, RFQ require that the developer actually continues to manage the property?
That is a part of the financial proposal. How it's managed, how we go into the comprehensive agreement over time. So that's not a requirement. So to answer your question, short answer, it is not a requirement. It is something that will be discussed and negotiated in the next phase.
Okay. Did you want to add to something?
My goal would be, frankly, we have management teams that manage things better than we manage them, but we still remain involved in the business model.
Okay.
We also set aside areas for equipment that's required in the site. So this is not something we didn't look at. We've looked at how we're going to manage it, how do we manage it, where do we put I'd like to put a police substation on the property occasionally. So we looked at it globally, and we do believe that a management company would do the right job managing the property under our tutelage.
If you put a police substation, will you be paying the police?
Look, that's another thing we'll talk about. I'm not stuck on a police substation, but I know there's been conversation about safety in the park. We want to encourage safety in the park.
I know. That's what I mean, that's what I was thinking of. Like, wow, that's a lot. So,
Well, we have the space available. So when I say a substation, I mean we have dedicated space if we want to use it.
I see. Okay.
Forgive me if I use lingo that's outside the box. I apologize.
No, it's okay. This is good. So I'm hearing that there was 186 parking spaces, and then another. Did you say underground? Did I hear that correctly?
So yes, there's 100. You want to jump?
There's 206 and 186.
Yes, sorry. So the idea of the underground is because the park itself becomes elevated. So
Right.
it's just the idea of an
The different
underground parking,
levels?
but it's truly at grade.
It's at grade.
Correct. So coming off Dixie, you'd be able to come into
Straight
the
in.
parking garage straight in. Correct.
It's on grade, just that we elevated the deck above it. So the parking is on grade, and then in addition to the 186, we have 51 parallel spots around the site.
Yeah, no, that's what I absolutely love is the different levels that you have. It's really great.
Thank you very
The green
much.
space that you put on top, and actually,
We had one more floor of parking. We took it out because we hoped we didn't need it. But we had the flexibility. If we wanted to put it back in, we could do it because we left the height. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I was going to say that I am concerned also, like, I think having clay courts is great. I don't know who plays on them because I've never played on clay courts. I can't play tennis because I have tennis elbow. So it's like, I'm looking for badminton. But anyway.
That's why paddle's so popular.
I'm just joking around. Listen, I just think that like the things that are costing residents money, which are rentals of courts and whatnot, it looks like there's a lot of spaces that are accessible to the residents in general, like a lot of parks, a lot of kid things. You know what I mean? Like you see these. I think that elevating the quality of life for North Miami Beach, I think is, like you said, if we build it, they will come.
Yep.
I don't see anybody who doesn't want to go to Aventura Mall. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't want to go out to Mall. It's too fancy. Even if I'm just going to walk there and buy nothing, I would love to go to Aventura Mall. But that's just me. So what I'm thinking of is I really like how you bring this, the elevated level of quality of life for our residents. I think that if it's accessible to them and, when we look at the price points and they all make sense, like that was very good. And I like how there's a lot of green when you look, wish I had a drone. I could see a lot of green, which is wonderful. And looks like a lot of places that, like, you can go hang out, read a book.
That was the plan was. That's why we have the picnic areas that people can rent. We have dedicated picnic areas that are covered. And let me go on the record and say that I think you both are absolutely correct. I think there should be a two-tiered system as far as if you're a resident of the city of North Miami Beach, there should be a cost reduction period.
All right, my questions are, I'm done. Thank you.
Commissioner Jean? Everybody's giving me orders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for this great presentation. The question that I have is, I think it's piggybacking on Commissioner Sue's point from the previous presentation. Is there potential for any competition size area within the designs?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Commissioner Jean, you broke up. Could you please repeat that question?
Competition sized area. So for example, if there were a tournament coming to the city and wanting to use any particular space to create that sort of area, would this particular design lend to that?
Yes, absolutely. The design of this kind of makes it flexible for all different types of racket sports, whether it's indoor or outdoor. For the pickle tennis, obviously, the idea would be that it would be all tennis tournament or an all pickleball tournament, an all padel tournament. But yeah, all the interior and exterior spaces are flexible to be able to accommodate pretty nice sized tournaments. And one of the outdoor courts would probably be more of the central court where you could fit most of the spectator seating around it. There's not only spectator seating on the open lawn, but the large overhang that kind of creates the entrance to the sports buildings, as well as rooftop terraces.
Thank you. And then the second question is, as it relates to sponsors, I know you mentioned Bank of America. Do you guys have any other contacts within the racquetball, sphere that you guys would want to partner with?
Yes,
or have relationships with already?
We've spoken to 3. All are well known. We keep that to the vest until such time as we're ready to execute, and we're not ready to execute. We haven't been selected for our project hasn't been selected. Commissioner Jean, if I could direct your attention, I hope you can see the screen. That gives you an idea of one of the main of the 2 tennis courts, the overlooks, and also gives you an idea of the way the stadium seating is integrated around it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be quick because I have a hard stop at 8:30, and if I leave, we're going to lose quorum apparently. But we have to hear all the.
I'll do my best to answer quickly as well.
He already asked. The 2 questions, and and correct me if I'm wrong, either from staff or what have you. The one thing that we're missing in North Miami Beach, and I don't know if you can still incorporate it into this project, and I didn't get a chance to mention this to the last presenter, is some type of hotel component. And I didn't know if that was even considered or that could be considered.
So our original intention was to have a hotel, and we were told that given the zoning requirements, the hotel could not be added. We originally had, I love the concept of the hotel with a grab and go to support, as we all know, the Spanish monastery is the #1 used venue for quinceañeras and weddings, especially photos, but they don't have space, really indoor space. So I wanted to have my original goal was to have a hotel with a grab and go component, not to compete with them. That's why I wanted it to be grab and go, but to have a room for people to actually go and enjoy the wedding festivities or the quinceañera festivities after they enjoy the Spanish monastery. We were told because of the current zoning requirements, we couldn't accommodate it.
Okay. Well, I know that we're working on a comp plan. I know that that's something that we're still working on. I just, like I said,
I love the concept. We worked on it. We were there with you.
I know right now, like whatever we decide, we're pretty much deciding on who would be the developer and and what dream they can come up. We're not here to dissect. I get that.
We love our dream.
But for me, a hotel has always been something. We don't have any hotels in the city proper.
It's crazy.
Not one. And that's something
we were supposed to get one, but they changed the use.
They changed their mind. They changed the uses. I do like the aspect of the fact that similar to how the Perez Museum, you guys have had this at-level type of garage parking. Yeah. That's the closest comparison I can have. I know the New York location as well. I do like the design. I know it's a family affair. I know you can see Jody back there as well. But I like the concept. I just would like a little bit more of an attraction grabber, like a hotel. That's just me. Other than that, the concept looks beautiful. Prior presentation looks beautiful, and I just wanted to just put
So
2 cents. Thank you.
we congratulate everybody that we're competing with. We wish them the best of luck, but I encourage you in the strongest sense to select us. And then we'll go ahead and get those, whatever we can bring together, we'll bring it together collectively, because in my concept, we have to work together. If we work together, we're going to accomplish some wonderful things. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Next is, what's the enemy? Civility that we have to give. It's NMB Academy. Yes. Madam Clerk, we can settle the timer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us present our design. Ours is a little different, staying more in sync with what's there, keeping a lot of what's there, adding to it, and creating a viable, dynamic racket sport environment, education environment, culture environment. My name is Greg Brunick. I'm with the North Miami Beach Academy. Javier Font, Bayard Font Architecture firm is the ones that put together the design you're looking at tonight. The design's modern, current, relevant to the community surrounding area. The facility that we're recommending accommodates high volume use, flexible spaces, diversified programming, multiple revenue streams for supporting growth. And, I'm sorry, here we go. That's fine, I just want to be, where's the, right here. Okay. Sorry. Let me just get to the right spot. A little glitch. Not there. Okay. Basically, supporting growth and diversified programming, multiple revenue streams, viable, sustainable park long time into the future. And the result, vibrant, exciting place for junior, adult, family, and professional participants. A community experience that everybody can enjoy. Ultimately, the landmark property, ultimately be driving the North Miami Beach brand locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally, transitioning it to an economic contributor, enabling the city to realize the true value of the important asset. The project integrates modern design with community priorities, featuring state-of-the-art community center, multiple racket sports, fitness facilities, indoor, outdoor food and beverage, experience positions as an entertainment event venue, full-service dog park, children's playground. This is basically what we're recommending as a redesign of the facility. It keeps and renovates the existing 12 and 6 hard courts with new fencing, walkways, shaded areas, landscaping. It adds 6 padel and 6 pickleball courts with bleacher seating, viewing areas throughout. It also contemplates covering the hard courts, the pickleball area, and the paddle courts, making for an ideal playing environment. And covered court areas also can be flexible, adding other sports and growth into other sport areas and bringing other type of activities to the property. All the courts are lighted, supporting 14, 16-hour daily operations. There's the addition of stadium court that contributes to the event agenda plan for the property. We feel the event opportunity here is significant in sports and music, well beyond the racket sports with the paddleball and the pickleball and the tennis events. That's one type of event, but when you look at the community center, it's pretty interesting what can happen there. So the stadium court will be an integral part of an event agenda also. I have relationships in the music industry, deep relationships in the sport industry. In 1978 to 2009, I built the IMG academies from 10 acres to 500 acres, 900 full-time students from 100 nations around the world. It was basically real estate development. It was sport development. it was education. So our business is all about sports and education and the integration of it. So there's also, on this site, you have a new community center. That community center is going to host the restaurant, rooftop dining, outdoor, indoor, fitness facilities on the bottom floor, control desks on the bottom floor. And it also is going to have hospitality area on the, I don't know where the pointer is here on this, but it'll have a hospitality area also incorporated into that building. Then there's a learning environment that basically a learning enrichment center to deliver sports, to deliver arts, music, STEM, all kinds of educational programs for junior, adult, professional. It's available on a daily, weekly basis, and seasonal basis. In addition, we'll also have educational academy programs that will be operating within that area. So hang on one second. So also design adds additional parking. We've added additional parking on the north side of the property. We have 120 spaces, 110 to 120 spaces designed into the site. And from the west parking lot, there's 4 points of entry straight into the learning center, and then the racket sports and the patrons that'll be doing the restaurant and the fitness will still follow down the same pathways to the check-in and control desk. Those that park on the north parking lot will still go in between the two clay courts, two banks of clay courts that we've kept there. The facility, again, is set up for growth, can be accommodations for additional sport offerings, 3v3 soccer, the two banks of courts under the indoor covered courts. You can do 3v3 soccer, basketball, volleyball, 5v5 soccer, as well as basketball, volleyball. And we can also bring in programs. I started the combine training for the NFL recruits going in, the NCAA recruits going in at the NFL on an annual basis, 2-month stays. We'd have 20 to 30 new recruits coming to do performance training. I also brought soccer teams from international soccer teams, South America, from Europe, as well as all the MLS teams. I have a big Rolodex of contacts to deliver those types of stays. Those are people that come, stay, will participate, groups of 60 coaches, players, and participate for 10-day stays. We'll be running the full-time academy, which we already have. We've been operating at the park since 2017. During COVID, we went to a month-to-month basis, so there's nothing we can do about the park from then to where we are now. So we've been waiting for this moment to see if we can get to the private-public partnership and carry this park forward. It's got a lot of history. It still should remain as a racket sports facility. It's got, like I said, the 12 clay courts, the 6 hard courts, the 6 padel and 6 pickleball courts, which will be covered and ideal playing environment, making for, an unbelievable facility. It's fully accessible to everyone in the area. There was in the RFP collateral that suggested accommodations could be built if they're incidental to the programming. I don't know if that's a fact or not. We've asked. We hadn't received any response for that. Here's the 3D view of the redesign. Of the redesign to give you a feel of what we see for the site. the design features balanced functional zones, racket sport, as well as the community center. The well-designed circulation, connectivity between all amenities. The design addresses multi-generational needs with youth, adult, family, and senior-friendly areas. It provides accessible recreation, inclusive gathering spaces, programming that support health, wellness, education, cultural engagement. Sustainable features include solar canopies, stormwater management, native landscape, Florida Green Building Coalition certification, public transport, ensuring long-term environmental responsibility. It contemplates and complements the broad range of programs delivered on rental, membership, tuition, food and beverage purchase basis. All the services can be bought on a daily, weekly, seasonal, and yearly. The operations will have benefit of multi-tiered volume and premium-based pricing, making the offering accessible and affordable to everyone. Technology be integrated throughout, and with cloud-based operating systems, all the latest technology that's out there for operating and connecting, streamlining bookings, communication with the fellow patrons and participants, and interaction with coaches and communities and the community center staff, complemented by smart building systems, campus-wide Wi-Fi, AV-ready facilities, and the complex will deliver both convenience and innovation.
Any final thoughts? Because the
Yeah.
time. Yes.
Okay.
You want to give a final thought? Or?
Yeah, okay. So if you want to wrap it up, we can leave it for questions and thoughts.
We'll start here, and then Commissioner Smith, and I'll go down.
Show me the facility where you have playgrounds or splash pools or picnic areas. What do you have for families?
Point. Yeah, that's right here. No, the one before. The one before. The one before. Page 6. Yeah. There we go. Where's the pointer? All right, but where's the pointer? Okay, here we go. So the playgrounds are right here in the bottom west corner of the property. If you walk in, the Learning and Enrichment Center is here. If I go to the right, the dog park is off to the right in the back of the property with 2,000 square foot buildings of full services for the dog daycare. You're also got the rooftop restaurant here. You've got the hospitality in this section of the property, and it's the landscaping, covered areas, relaxation areas all throughout. So this is basically the new footprint of the property.
And the parking is outside.
Well, we added to the parking here, so the combination of this parking and this parking's 110 to 120 spaces.
So this is different. That's exactly what you said. It's more of a overhaul of what's existing there, plus.
Yeah, and our intention was to keep it operational as we go through the transition and the renovation, and working on the hard courts, the clay courts, the padel, and the pickleball courts initially, as well as the north parking, and then from there go into the community center, and then do the dog park and the stadium as the last component.
And the dog park's going to have overnight facilities if people
Well,
want?
it's going to have dog daycare. We've thought about overnight facilities. I'm not sure whether we would do that or not, but that's an opportunity. I think one of the things when you look at this site and the different programs that are here, if you were able to put accommodations which could be done over the parking facilities, and if you could add more parking in the parkings located, this is going to be an attraction. You're going to have athletes coming from all over the world. You're going to have athletes coming regionally, nationally, as well as locally. And if you look at pickleball, the people travel into pickleball, all over the country, all over the world, and participate in pickleball, as well as professional soccer teams and professional athletes, as I mentioned. So I have an expertise in sport, in performance, in training, and been at it for a long time, and have built these kinds of facilities. I mean, the IMG Academies is the finest in the world. I did the Everett Academy. I did an academy in Japan when I was 23. It's still there today. But this is a public park, but stepped up a notch based on what the RFP was looking for with regards to the racket sports and programming. The enrichment and education, I think, is important. We're all about families and kids. All of our programming and everything that we have today is packaged for families and kids. And we're very good on the education front, and we're very good on the training front with the sports. And doing the recreation and creating an environment like this is pretty nice.
That's what I'm looking for, the complex for everybody, and that's exactly it. And there's also walking trails.
The walking trails are around the entire property.
I get it.
There's green spaces throughout the entire property to be able to view, relax, just walk your dogs, do whatever you'd like to do.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the presentation. The one word that comes to mind is realistic. Right? That's the one word that comes to mind. I think sometimes, we have visions, and those visions are great, and they can be accomplished. That's very important to know that you got to shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll still be amongst the stars, right? But I think what's being presented here is, hey, here's something that we can actually get done within a reasonable amount of time and play off of what we have already. So I could appreciate that. I think that there's a certain energy that's happening, though, on West Dixie or Harriet Tubman Way that we must harness, right? We have to harness it. We have to turn it into what we've always imagined for the last 10 plus years, because this conversation has been going on for a while, and more particularly within the last 5, we've seen what's going on what's currently West Dixie, even further north, right? You hit the smoothie spot, Miami Squeeze. Then you keep going across 183rd Street, and you have new development happening in that area, new high-rise buildings, apartments and condos, et cetera. So, that will in the future, or it's already happening, but I can imagine years down the line, this being a thoroughfare that people will actually use more often and stop at these different locations to enjoy a meal, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that we have to harness it. And with that being said, I just want to see more, right? I want to see more, and more of a quasi-commercial utilization where people can actually plan their afternoons here in North Miami Beach, can drive down from wherever, even if they're driving down from Palm Beach, just to come here and enjoy this facility, because they're doing it in other places, right? People are coming for Perez Museum, like the mayor said. The Underline is another hot location, although it kind of traverses through many different municipalities. But we just saw the longest table dinner near the Underline, right? So these are things that are happening that we want to be able to harness. And I appreciate the educational aspect and the sports aspect, but I think that's something that we have to harness with this opportunity that we have. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. It needs to be beaten up. So,
this one.
You said something about music indoors. Is that the complex in the middle there?
Well, I look at the learning and enrichment facility. The plan is arts programs, which would include music, educational programs, STEM programs. These are all things families are interested in. They do with the, parents do with the kids do on their own. So, we've been delivering those types of programs I've been doing it for 40 years. Like I said, IMG, I had 900 full-timers and 20,000 weekly customers a year. So I'm used to volume and activity. This should be a highly active location, but culturally, I think it should focus on the families, the education, and the blend of the sport. And we've got a long history in doing it. Now, from the music and the event side of the equation, I've got a lot of connections on the music side, on the music industry. I believe this stadium facility could be, a boutique setting for like when Alicia Keys and many of the music people that are here inside in the Miami area, when they're in town, that potentially could put activities together or an evening together with one of them. And like I said,
So you're saying that inside that clubhouse that.
I'm saying turn the stadium court and utilize all the amenities in the property. The restaurant, the hospitality area, the learning and enrichment facility could also be flexible to support events and activities like that.
I see. Well, I mean, keep in mind that it's right next to the train station, right? So yeah. So if we have Alicia Keys there,
you never know.
Yeah, it's a track, but I mean, sorry.
Yeah, but we've been standing on that property every evening. All kinds of activities can take place there. I don't think would be disrupted. I'm giving you an example with that in terms of the music, but
Okay,
and the arts.
then the other thing is the hospitality. You meant just like food vendors, restaurants like that, or
No,
I mean, I know because the mayor did mention that.
there'll be indoor outdoor restaurant that's basically there in the front part of the property there in the circular where you see the indoor outdoor second floor, the canopies there.
If I'm not mistaken, you are currently managing our tennis courts already, right?
We've been managing since 2017, and then we've been through 2 or 3 RFPs, 2 that never got completed, and then we went through COVID, and then we were moved to a month-to-month type of lease, which at the time the head of procurement was going to change that. That never happened. We went through a few different.
No, thank you for doing that. And I think you see, whatever's needed, wanted and needed in the area. So you're adding to that. And like Vice Mayor said, absolutely, I think it is a realistic approach.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different than some of the things we've looked at. But you also have to look at the viability of it, sustainability. It has to be something that economically carries itself so that you can maintain and keep it. So there's not in the state that the park is in right now.
I don't know if this is like an actual, like the photos that you took, the rendering of the photos. There is one that on the top above the solar panels is like a canopy, like a.
Yeah, no, those are, yeah, so if, so those are, so right here.
It's page 7. Yeah, it's the next one.
Oh, right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, those are covered courts.
Ah, that's what you were talking about in covered courts.
And we'll probably cover the pickleball.
So those are not, they're not solar panels?
No, the solar panels are that's on the main building here.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's on this mouse is not working too good, but that's those are solar panels. Solar panels on the rooftop.
Yeah.
The restaurant, the hospitality area.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and the parking is, you said 120?
Yep, 120. We expanded down the north side and maintained the existing that's there.
All righty, okay. Could I ask you, since you are running the tennis courts, what's the capacity and how much do we fill that capacity?
When you say what's the capacity and how much you fit, depends on the number of hours you're open.
Right.
I mean, the courts are in such a state right now that you're not having the type of activity that you will have when you redo this facility. But I think that from a rental court, I put it in from a dollars and cents standpoint, would probably be anywhere from $1.6 million to $1.8 million in revenue generation.
What's the percentage of occupation?
That would be probably around 50%.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, and if you look at tennis operations, you look at, Padel might show a significant activity nowadays. Pickleball might show significant activity nowadays. Pickleball doesn't really generate revenue unless you're traveling, staying, and integrated with, accommodations and hospitality, food. Padel generates a decent revenue on an hourly basis, and then clay courts, hard courts, very different. But when this park is done, it would probably be operating in around the 65% occupancy. There's always going to be vacancy. And that's where the academy overlay, the learning programs, the educational programs, and the various ways that we operate. Our academy is no longer there on site. Our academy is at the FIU campus now. And that possibly would be brought back or expanded to this site. But you need a mix of revenue generation in order to make it all work.
Yeah.
And that has to have, volume pricing so everybody can afford, as well as premium pricing. And the premium pricing are the programs that are going to carry the operation.
Well, thank you so much for your answers, and thank you for your presentation.
Okay.
I love the simplicity of your plan, which I met with your operators 3 years ago when I pushed to get this thing on the board. And they said that they wanted a racket club, and that's what you brought to us, and I appreciate that. My question is, you operate the clay courts now. You know that the clay courts are only used from 7 in the morning till maybe 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then nobody comes after. And the majority of people that are using them right now are our older generation.
Right.
The younger generation isn't playing tennis anymore. They're playing pickle or padel now. And they used to play tennis, but the only ones that are playing tennis are the ones who want to be in the tennis field and be, professionals. So I like the breakdown that you have of 6 and 6, but with your knowledge of the clay courts not being used all day, why wouldn't you cover some clay courts?
Well, we were contemplating that. We're thinking about which areas to cover. We might cover a bank of clay courts. And we might do that also. I mean, the covering of the courts, the way we have it laid out, it's indoor, outdoor, it's going to be comfortable environment, shaded. When you're in the clay court, you have the water underneath. It comes from the underneath, and then you're shaded. It's a nice environment year round. So we're not locked in stone on which courts will be covered, which ones won't be covered. But the reason that the utilization you're seeing at the park right now, the fences are falling down. The fence posts are rusted. The net posts, they're all falling down. Yeah,
it's a mess.
It's not attractive to anybody. But we'd like to get to a place where we could do a facility like that and really integrate the different things that we do with the academy and the educational programming. I mean, we're fully accredited, and we're step-up approved on the education. So you blend the education and bring in, programming from 4 to 9 o'clock at night for after-school tutoring, AI learning. There's a multitude of things that parents are into today and they spend money on today, as well as participate with their kids. And so this environment that we've laid out here would be family-friendly and would create interaction, with the parents going out and doing something, the kids active in the learning center, vice versa, or whatever it might be.
Thank you.
All right.
Jean.
Gone?
Commissioner Jean?
Going once, going twice?
One more time, Commissioner Jean. I don't want to, yes, please check if, I don't want to.
To the mayor, she may have lost her connection, as she said she would be traveling this evening, and that could occur.
Okay. So final, kind of echo some of the thoughts. This is just amplifying what we currently have to make it as economically feasible, long-term wise, for what currently is there. And That's about it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Madam Clerk, can you set up the time? Thanks.
Video. I use it. Just say play the video one. We'll play it from back. You have to say it. You start with video.
Start with video.
Just say start. Okay.
Thank you. It's okay?
Go.
Have a good night. Thank you, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Procurement Manager, and all the people. We are U.S. Soccer Enterprise with a Racket 360. We want to show our presentation and explain all the data. Please put the video one. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is the state-of-art sport complex for arts and community. It's not only for fields, if not for the people in North Miami Beach. This composition in our team is una big experience con soccer fields, paddle, with pickleball and community facilities. In fact, our first project is in North Miami Beach, the soccer field in Michigan Park. It's our project, and we are partners. In fact, we have a private partnership, and in this park is the third project we present. Thank you. We make a combination with a big synergy with a Racket 360. It's one of the largest groups to organize tournaments and construction in the sport facilities. Offer experience, commitment, execution, and our proposal first have different priorities. First, respect the original of the park about the tennis courts. In fact, I live in North Miami Beach for more than 8 years. I teach my daughters to play tennis in Monasterio. I play all the time. And we respect the 12 fields. We make 8 paddle courts, 4 of that covered for pickleball and the other amenities that the program requests for a dog park, for a skate, a climbing rock, all the exterior walkways, community center, and one marina place using the corner with water. One of the premises is the concept of this park. Monasterio have the big picture is the old trees, the old landscape in the area. For that, we increase the parking view, but respecting all the trees, the old ones, because we know is the other point. Take the permits with Miami-Dade County, especially with Durham, and that department is hard. It's the same with the construction. We can propose different things here, but after that, we need to build. That is real. We have the experience in Michigan Park, and we work together, and we know that is our experience. Okay. Our proposal show all the spaces with a community center, with flexible spaces, not only for activities for arts, meetings, sports, restaurants, roof deck with suspension, and using all the buildings. That's all the images of the building. And in our proposal, we try to use tournaments and events, major partner tournaments, that is part of the concept, that hospitality workers tournament practices, community spaces, free clubhouse meetings, spaces for the nonprofit and resident association. We have programs for adults and youth with classes and uses in different times for free, monthly paddle and pickle nights, wellness festival with yoga, fitness classes, and health workshop. It's a big concept in our proposal. We include that free summer camps, after school clinics. In fact, in the soccer complex in Michigan Park, we have several people for children with free classes in the clinics. It's the same with the senior and youth access. It's like I say, free courts, youth for seniors, 65 plus, and youth between 8 and 18 during the non-peak hours, between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., weekdays, with prior reservation. For community benefits, I explained in fact, resident discount 10%, discount on courts reservation for non-Miami Beach residents, local business alliances, special discount for local store customer offering reciprocal promotions, free court access daily for seniors and youth, free clinics, monthly tennis, paddle, and pickleball clinics with prior reservation, and cultural and educational events, art activities, cultural events, and conference to raise awareness about the environmental care and diversity potential future professional player exhibition. To complete, this is the general view. And please, the video too. Thank you.
Yeah, it's perfect for a walk.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to start off, Commissioner Chernoff.
Thank you. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Sue. Yeah.
Okay, I think there's a theme here between you and I think NMB Academy are very similar. Obviously, you are in our city, you know, and you've seen that area all the time. So that's probably what is a common theme between people who are familiar with the area. So I suppose what I wanted to ask was there's some semi-covered courts, right? And then there's the outdoor courts.
I have 4 covered, no enclosed, paddle courts, and one space is for different events. It's possible to play paddle, soccer 5. That is the top in soccer because it's so difficult to find a space for that. Because
Where is
it's indoor.
Okay.
It's indoor.
So it's an indoor soccer?
Indoor soccer 5x5.
Oh, okay. So
It's another format. Usually it's 11 versus 11, but you can play 8x8 and 5x5 outside, like the Michigan Park. We make that fields.
Yes.
Basket and whatever, all the other things, and in an enclosure gym or facility.
Okay. One thing I'd like to know, it wasn't indicated in the presentation. How many parking spaces do you?
157.
Okay.
I increased the number on the west area. I have the original survey in AutoCAD. We can play with that because the original landscape architect in the city make a CAD with all the plans in all the places. For that, I make a layout. It's working because we try to respect all the maximum of the existing trees. The old ones is over 100, 200 years trees over there.
So I have 2 more questions. I think. Okay. Okay. there's a convertible basketball court, right? There's a convertible court.
It's,
'cause
it's
it could
all
be
convertible.
multi-purpose.
We can play different
And that's
sports.
indoors or outdoors?
Indoor.
Indoors, okay. And then the skate park?
Yes.
Is that like, okay, so you have a skate
It's
park?
outside.
Yes, I see it right here in your design. All right, so I have no further questions.
I'm sorry, I can say, because I think the city have, I think you told me, a trail on the border of the canal, connecting West Dixie to the park in this area. Here,
You mean the trolley?
yeah. No, here. Because the idea, we put the dog park here and the water activities here to connect is possible, because usually we have that experience in Michigan Park to combine about the times that is possible to be open, because if not, we need to make any control about the people is going into the park. It's like the micro. At 11 p.m., the city closed the gates, and this all we have access for another places. That's a thing to look in the future.
Wait, are there any, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, are there any air-conditioned areas in the,
Yes.
which part? The restaurant areas or?
No, it's here in the center. I'm sorry for the
Is
mouse.
it the big square one?
Yes, all this area
The
in the middle
restaurants,
is 2-story level with is a food court in the first floor with restaurants, looking to the gym and looking to the paddle. Let me see. If you see this render, this area is 2-level or under AC. On the second level is the community meetings, all the flexible spaces for different activities. We have the locker rooms too, and another restaurant with a roof deck with green area on the top. That's the concept. I think I have a render too. This is the rooftop terrace with the restaurant in one of the sides of the building. This one. This is the semi-covered area for the paddle courts, and in the other side, the gym. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great presentation and great video.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, something just came to mind, and I just want to ask procurement this, because I remember when we were having this conversation a number of years ago relating to usage. There was a big to-do about whether or not residential can go there, right? And it was about whether the usage was strictly park or it was a certain amount of park space that we had to have in our city, right? So my question is, really, was it about the amount of park space that we needed or green space, or was it about what the use was? And the reason I'm asking that is because I'm looking at the level, right? The levels, right? You have you have some of these plans that have different stories, and on certain stories, I would assume that they've met the requirement for green space or met the requirement for park use. So my question is, does that also include vertical as well? Are you understanding my question? So I guess what I'm saying is if you've met the requirement for amount of park space that you need on ground level 1, for instance, right? Let's say there was a lot of green space on ground level 1, et cetera, and then ground level 2 was some retail, restaurant, commercial usages. If there was a third level with residential, this is just a what-if question, is that something that's within the scope of what we can or can't do?
So to answer your question, Vice Mayor, the way you're conceiving the requirement is not amount of park space. As you mentioned before and earlier, I would love to see hotel
Well, that was
option on the space.
Well, we all wanted to see a hotel there, to be honest.
I think so too. The problem is our county rules along with our municipal policies and procedures. County Rule 18 prohibits any park designated as a park space for commercial use. So if you see in these presentations, they have very, very limited commercial purposes, commercial use outside of the utilization of the parks recreational facilities. So you're not going to see in any of these concepts like a big restaurant with 200 seating. You'll see these kind of small eateries because that's what's permitted in parks. The zoning issue challenge is that this is still designated as a park, and we would actually have to go to a referendum in order to do any significant commercial space or residential space.
Gotcha. Okay. Some food for thought. All right. Well, aside from that, and thank you so much for answering that question. Great presentation. I really appreciate some of what you've shown as far as keeping some of these courts. In addition to that, did I see like a jogging path as well? In section
Yes.
8? Is that a jogging path?
Yes,
Okay.
a big
all right.
one.
Okay.
But in all the, if you see the number 1, let me show you. It's coming from the parking, going around all the side on the near Monasterio. It's going to the center and going to the canal and connect in the other line to the tennis court. Oh yes, in fact, we have a lot of exterior spaces for gym, yoga, tables, workstation, all is with a QR to make all the exercises with the white.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, great presentation. Thank you. And I'm glad to see the skate park as well, because that's something we promised this community maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and we haven't done. So
yeah.
I'm glad to see that there's something to that effect there as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Well, I saw your partner in the hall earlier, and he said he had to catch a plane, but I can't wait to tell him what an amazing job you did.
Me.
Your presentation was so good, the video. The questions I have, one of the pictures showed a wading pool or a pool around the perimeter of the concrete where they were playing. Is that part of the concept, or that was just an idea?
Which one? I'm sorry?
Oh. Now you want me to find it? Here it is.
No, that's the entrance. Let me show you. But yes, it's with
It was.
No, the blue one. The blue one is the color of the fields.
Okay.
No, it's no water in the park.
No, the blue part I see is the paint, but the water that looks like water.
No, because we have one on the south corner is water.
The one on top. The picture on top.
I'm sorry. No.
It's a fountain. I'm trying to differentiate because really all the projects could be the winner. I mean, they're all that good. But your project did not have what I call a stadium. I'm going to call it like a stadium.
The problem with the stadium is the same like the Vice Mayor said. When we made this kind of project, we contemplate all the parking requirements for the uses. If we put permanent grades for a stadium, the number of parking spaces is higher.
I see.
The code request for the difference is double. If you put a removable one, it's 7. If you put a fixed one, it's 15
I see.
per. I don't remember, it's per 1,000 people or whatever. It's a huge, and we don't have space. It's impossible.
And how tall is the main building?
In feet?
2 feet? No, 2 levels, 3 levels?
2.
2.
2 levels.
Well, the project is everything that we want in a park. I thank you very much.
Thank you,
Excellent
Commissioner
job.
Smith.
Like the video. I know that there's certain things that run with the land in regards to the county. I know we have certain properties that kind of set up that same way. Libraries kind of set up that way, has preclusions on it that you can't really do anything on it except for a library. But I don't know if it's needed for referendum. I guess that's up to legal and to see what can be done. But I understand this just from a general standpoint, the concept has to remain that park aspect. That's something that I think that's the consensus there. I just wish we had more of a little bit more wiggle room to commercialize it, because it's going to be, got Aura there, you got the Spanish monastery there, and there's opportunities there that I think we're kind of hamstringing and really making it work. But I do like the presentation. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
City Attorney, how do we do this? We can just make a vote to submit the rankings to the city manager?
You can do it any way, almost any way that you want to, Mayor. I mean,
Because we're missing 2 members. I just want to be able to have,
you need to determine what you're going to do. You can do that by a vote. The only thing I can think of that you couldn't do was do it in some kind of a manner where you didn't, your votes were secret. I mean,
No. I say,
obviously they have to be public. But,
right.
I mean, you can do it now. You can set a date by which the rankings are to be submitted.
I say by the end of the week, each commissioner and member of the
You have
commission
enormous latitude for how
submits
you
their, because we're missing at least 2. We're missing
just
2 now.
discuss it, and whatever you come up with, the odds of it being illegal are pretty slim.
Top 4. We'll just list them. I thought we can rank them 1.
No, we're ranking them 1 through 4.
No, meaning that we will rank
Mayor
them
to the
1
city
through 4.
attorney. Through the
it's
mayor
your
to the city
discretion.
attorney. We actually have a form that is been distributed to all the members of the commission for ranking. Also has.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I
Get a
haven't
look
seen
at
it.
it. That would be great.
Walk around and show them where their form is.
But let me say that, again, there's great discretion. If there's a form, let me see what it says. Was this distributed, by the way, Mr. Manager, when the RFP went out?
Yes.
Do we want to discuss it?
Well, I mean,
Do we want to discuss it, or we're just going to
I don't
pretend?
want to.
You are.
Yeah, that's
You're
what
in the
we're
middle
I don't
of
want to make the
discussing.
rankings now. I mean, I just want to give the ability for the commissioners that are.
Yes.
No, I'm saying, like, I want to be able to, each commissioner to submit the rankings by the end of the week and then tally them up basically. You understand what I'm saying?
Better if we rank them now, because that's how.
But we're missing 2. But we're missing 2. And I just want to. That's what I'm saying. I want to give everybody the opportunity to send in their ranking. Like, we don't, I think we should vote to say all submissions have to be submitted by Friday. give everybody enough time, or by Thursday. I just want to give people enough time to do that. That's all.
But, Mayor, let me
Yes.
just say, as to the document that was just handed to me, this went out, it was attached to the RFP. It's probably advisable to use the form that was distributed to the applicants that they're expecting. I am not saying that you could not make any changes, but it would be advisable to use the form.
So submit
to the point that you're making, whether it's turned in tonight, whether it's turned in, for the two commissioners that are not here by a date certain. And there's some advantage, I would think, in having everybody's ranking turned in at the same time, because it's not particularly advisable to have the two absent commissioners be able to view what the other commissioners have turned in before issuing their own rankings. So what you could do is ask if you want to set whenever the commission
I would say
wants,
Friday.
and just ask that if anybody turns theirs in early, that it be held until everyone's have been submitted. You could ask the manager to hold those.
Do you need a motion?
I do, yeah.
Okay, I motion for all the rankings to be turned in by
Friday.
No, Wednesday. What was today's Monday, right?
I know. I just wanted to give people time to look over everything. It doesn't. That's why Friday would have been a good enough time for me. Friday at 5, like nothing changes.
Well, I mean, there's people who don't do stuff Friday, so I'm proposing by Friday. How about Wednesday 5?
Friday at 5 is fine for me.
Hey, wait, I'm making a motion, Mr. Mayor. Okay. Do I have a second for Wednesday?
Excuse me, ma'am. He asks if there's a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
after.
Thank you.
You've done that
You're right.
before, and with all
Yes.
deference, there is a chair, and he has the gavel.
Thank
So
you.
when you make
Thank
the
you. I
motion,
gotcha.
he asks for that.
I just want us to give enough time. Like we have time. Okay,
All right.
so do.
So I'll
if you
motion
could-
for a Friday by 5 p.m.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're gonna submit it by Friday.
You have to call for the nays, Mayor.
Huh?
You have to at least ask if there are nays.
Oh, are there any nays? No nays?
Seeing none.
Seeing none. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Oh.
Do we still have a cone of silence is the question.
Oh,
Thank you.
city attorney.
I'm going to ask help from the procurement director, but my understanding is once this matter has been submitted to the city commission, there's not a recommendation in this case that comes from the city manager. He's opened it to the commission, but my understanding, Madam Procurement Director, is the cone of silence does not exist once the matter is committed to the city commission. Is that your understanding as well?
No, that isn't the case. The cone of silence is lifted for this presentation, and during evaluation, the cone of silence is still will be in effect because a recommendation hasn't been made to the manager to award or move forward in negotiations, and that's what this part of the evaluation is for.
So you're saying you believe it's still on?
Yes.
I move that to.
I'll
City
yield to
Attorney.
the procurement director on that point.
I'm of that opinion as well. It's my understanding that the code of silence remains in place until the manager makes a recommendation to the commission based upon evaluations. I don't have that until I have all the evaluations.
Are you guys saying that when you've received this, our process is that you're then going to make a recommendation based on this to
Well,
the city
The
commission?
recommendation is going to be, these are the results of your ranking.
And does the city commission then have to vote to accept that recommendation?
I'll leave that in your house.
Now he's wondering.
I'm not
when it-
sure.
when it triggered.
I understand the question, sir.
Explain the process.
No,
I would move that when the manager has all 7 votes, he can rank them and send them back to us.
Well, I think the reason behind the question, I think the mayor was going to allude to that, is
The
that
triggering.
is the trigger is
That's
the
all I'm
vote
saying,
after
like,
the fact.
no-
So
no
if
need
we
to
don't have to vote on it, is that really where the cone of silence is, or is it in effect?
My question is, one thing, if your expectation is the manager will receive these and then bring them back to you, and and you have to take another vote, that's one thing, but it's not a recommendation by the manager to you if there's nothing further for you to do.
No.
So if I may, the process is that after these are ranked, the manager has the authority to enter into an agreement, an interim agreement where we talk about the financials, we look deeper into the design and so on and so forth. And that is with the top ranked candidate. At that point, if those negotiations are unsuccessful, then we can move to the second. After we have that agreement, we'll bring it back to the commission so we can enter into a comprehensive agreement where we then will start the project.
So there's no, what you're saying is there's no, for our recent matter, there is an award, but no award of contract until the manager has the opportunity to have negotiations and actually brings the proposed contract back to the commission for a vote?
That is correct.
Okay,
In that
so
case, I think with that clarification, if you understand that based on your ranking, the manager will begin negotiations in order until he reaches a satisfactory agreement, but there is no agreement or contract until you vote, then the cone of silence is still in effect until the manager brings something back to you.
All right, that's what we got.
Okay.
All right,
So everyone's clear.
I have a question through the
Commissioner
mayor.
Smith.
So when the ranking is decided and the person that's the beginning of the negotiations going to be selected, when do we get to have input that we would like this added or we'd like this taken away or something? Like somebody did come up and say, it's a preliminary, but we will pick somebody and maybe everything, that maybe there was 95% that was perfect, but we heard something from somebody else that we would like included. When do we do that?
That is a very good question, Commissioner. Let me see what procurement and the manager have to say about their expectation as far as that, because that's a very good question, Commissioner Smith.
Well, the first presenter kind of expected it.
They all do.
They all do.
But what's your, Mr. Manager or Madam Procurement Director, I think Commissioner Smith has a good question. I'm not sure what your answer is.
Yes, absolutely. I do think that's a great question. And we look forward to the selection of a vendor by the commission, by which we will then have those conversations. And as we move forward, the first primary concept that we will discuss is fiscal constraints. Fiscal constraints will determine a lot, what we're going to be providing to the table, if anything, as you question, and what the vendor will be bringing to the table. Therefore, that will kind of give a structure and bones to the concept that has been presented. Then we can bring that as a workshop to the commission for them to say, I like this, I don't like that, I saw another vendor did this, can we add that? And it'll be an ongoing, evolving conversation as to the concept.
So you're saying, Mr. Manager, just to be clear, that you'll have a preliminary agreement that you're recommending with someone. After they're ranked, you'll talk to number one, and if you can reach something, it'll be preliminary, but it'll still come back, not just for approval, but it'll come back for the commission, as you say, in a workshop or otherwise, for
Yes,
the
sir.
commission to be able to have their input before you have a final contract. Does that answer your question?
It does, but, brings another thought that the manager just said. We have no idea if the person that ranks number one will be financially feasible. I mean,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
another question that
That's what-
before,
That's what the manager has to determine before he brings some.
that's what I wanted to say, before he brings it back, because there's no sense in us using our brain power to try to make it as close to what we want in the end, and we don't even know if that person's financially going to be able.
What
And
you've clarified, Commissioner, is that the manager, based on the rankings and negotiations, will bring back a proposal to go forward with someone, but it is not a final contract. That still has to evolve.
And I'd like you to also, in part of bringing it back to us, discuss who's going to manage it, what's the long-term answer as well, manage and also maintain.
Yes.
Whose responsibility is that?
And Mayor, I think Commissioner Turnoff had a question.
If I'd like to respond to Commissioner Smith's question, I think it'd be important to provide the commission with some additional framework as you're evaluating concepts. First and foremost, this is a public-private partnership. So this is a relationship, an evolving relationship. And this is not a scenario where we've put out a P3 and we're providing all of the financial resources for. So there has to be some flexibility as to what we demand and to what we require. Indeed, the goal for most P3s when dealing with municipalities is for us to, if we can just provide financial support. If the financial support that we're, real estate as our financial support, and if we can, if that's of significant value here, we've got 10 acres that is of a high value, that will be the only thing financially that we provide in our P3 concept. Now, again, that is negotiable, but then that's an evolving conversation. So unfortunately, we're not going to be doing a P3 concept where we come into the scenario, as we did say with Washington Park, where we went out, we got a bond, and we can say exactly based on our financial pockets, this is what we want to see. Again, another thing that I want to introduce to the commission is with these public-private partnerships, it is also paramount that they be financially stable. What do I mean by that? Obviously, these developers are not presenting these projects to you just because they love the city of North Miami Beach. Now, while I'm sure many of them do, if not all of them, love the city of North Miami Beach, when I say it has to be financially sustainable, they have to have a mechanism by which they can recoup the dollars that they spend, particularly if those are loan dollars. So we have to have loaned dollars for development. So that means the concept has to be able to present it to a bank to say, oh, we see how you're going to get your money back, so we understand how we, the bank, are going to get our money back. So sometimes that is going to be a negotiation of renting the fields, renting the pickleball courts, renting the tennis courts, hosting games, hosting cultural events and also concepts, or even the concession stands. All forms of revenue have to be able to be presented in a financial model to a bank or even a developer that's self-funding to say, this is the concept by which you will get your return on your investment.
And where does the CRA come into this? Is that a possibility as well because of the location?
That's not a concept that I had considered, but something we absolutely can explore.
Okay. We're gonna final question. You have one question. Liberty. Yes, one. Be real quick because we're gonna adjourn.
Very quickly, and I'm sorry, I'll just address this, and maybe it's on behalf of some of the other presenters as well. When we were told to present the RFP, they said, do not address anything financial in this round. Whoever made it to this round.
When did that happen?
In the instructions, it was, we're just going to present concepts. And then of the 4 groups, they're going to pick 2 to do a financial model. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but those were the indications that we were given. So if we would have known that only 1 applicant was going to be selected by the end of the week, I think our firm or some of the other firms would have made more emphasis on the financial model. That's not what we were told. We were told to make emphasis on a general concept.
They're not being evaluated on
You're not
that.
evaluated.
They're being evaluated on their presentation.
Correct.
And then they're being ranked, period.
But within that ranking, there's also financial feasibility, and nobody addressed the financial.
Your understanding is incorrect, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem.
No problem.
Go ahead, Mr. Mayor, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Vice Mayor, I'm not gonna cut anybody off. So Vice Mayor, go ahead, finish your thought.
Okay, just making sure. So I understand that we're not ranking based on, and they have access to this form if they want it, right? So they know what we're ranking based on.
Correct.
But in addition to that, what I wanted to ask is, there was a comment about top 2 would go into a conversation relating to finance. Is that accurate?
So in the original RFP, there was, it did read that the top two will go into go into the next phase. After speaking with our consultant as well as the manager, there is a lot of financial investment that goes into that next phase. And so having two firms go into that phase and we can only choose one would be futile and really not cost effective for that second firm. This is why we're open, of course, to having all of them have that financial proposal in the back end, but ideally, we want to have the firm or the developer that we're going to, that's highest ranked, to put that investment in. And so this is why this first phase will be, after they've put in their proposal, we have our consultant that has reviewed those in terms of technical compatibility and responsibility. Then it's where the commission comes in and talks solely about the vision, what the city needs based on those must-haves, what we just talked about, what was in the original plan. This is not at all about the financial proposal or how they're going to recoup money or risk or anything, because that's a bigger, broader discussion.
Well, I'm glad you answered that. I just wanted to make sure that in the RFP, you said there was a first version, then there's a second version.
There's the only version. It did say two. And so
what version do they have that they've responded to?
It says two.
It says top two.
It says top two.
Will go into this second phase.
That is correct.
That's what's currently in the RFP that they
correct.
have.
That is
So,
correct.
so that's, I guess my question is just to, and with respect to time as well, I know we have, we have a limited time, but if they have an RFP in their hand that says top two will go into that conversation, so isn't that what's supposed to happen?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's kind of where because I heard your response and it almost sounded as if only the top would even have to make that investment in that conversation.
If I may jump in, Vice Mayor, this will be public record.
Right.
So by Friday, everyone would know who's one and everyone who would know who's two. Obviously, one is going to be preferred. So if I'm number two and am I going to be willing to simultaneously make a $100,000, $150,000, depending on what the concept is, $300,000 investment on concept and architectural design? Maybe they wanted to go with a coffee and get the top of the best. That's going to be a 360 design plan off of the concepts that we looked at. Are they willing to spend that investment and they know they're number two?
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you.
We will absolutely allow them.
Correct. That's all I want to know.
Absolutely allow them.
What I want to know is what is to happen, right? So if the top person,
yes,
the top pick can decide they don't want to do anything further, right? But what is to happen is the top two are going to be considered and given both equal opportunity. That's what I'm hearing based on the RFP, right?
Am I under? So.
Well, no, okay. So I appreciate your statement,
I was about to ask
but I just want to make sure. I just want to know exactly what it is, and that's just for my edification and also for the people who are here as to what to expect.
Okay, Commissioner Smith.
Why would somebody be spending $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 on a concept until we financially make sure that would be a company and that that seems to me would be much further down the road. We have to first see who is willing and able.
Commissioner Smith, that is the general sunk cost for all development. There's no way around that. Just to get the engineers to look at a project and determine what the cost is going to be, you're looking at, for example, the project that we were looking at together on Michigan Park, just to have Kobe Carp to put together a concept where the developer can say, this is what it's going to cost and take that to the bank. That is going to be on average $360,000 in cost on average. And for that project, it might be particularly minimal. Those are considered for this industry sunk cost. That's why it's so important that when they look at a project that they're going to develop, that there is the odds are more likely than not that they're going to be able to move forward because the sunk costs in the industry are so high.
Commissioner Smith, I just want to be clear before I leave here this evening, because what this says is different than what I'm hearing, right? This says that the highest ranking, it says the commission evaluations will be used solely to rank the firms for advancement to the next phase of the P3 procurement process. Consistent with Florida Statute 255.065, the city intends to invite the highest ranked proposer to negotiate an interim agreement, which authorizes the parties to conduct due diligence, et cetera, et cetera. So I know the word intends is, could be seen differently, but that's what this says.
That's a pretty direct.
Right, so, okay, so it's pretty direct, right? Okay, so that's the intention of the city, is to invite the highest ranked based on this here. So what I'm asking is the RFP itself, is it matching what this is saying, or is it saying something different?
I don't believe that is matching what the RFP says, and I believe that the RFP should hold.
Okay, that's all I want to know. So the RFP says top two will be moving forward to the next phase of conversation.
Because
Okay.
the RFP is what's been published, and the RFP is what they've responded to.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
I would agree with.
Okay, I got a motion and second adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right.